Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us for today's California Citizens Redistricting Commission Communities of Interest Input Meeting. I'm Commissioner Ray Kennedy. I'll be co-chairing today's meeting with Commissioner Angela Vasquez, who will join us at 5 o'clock. Today, we're offering one language line in Spanish so that Spanish speakers can listen to the meeting in that language. Could I please have our interpreter provide our call-in numbers? Spanish interpreter.
Yes, Chair, this is Margarita, the Spanish interpreter. I will is it the language line instructions?
Yes, please.
Okay. Buenas tardes, esta es la intérprete. Para los hispanohablantes que gusten escuchar esta reunión en español, por favor marquen el 888-566-1377. De nuevo, para escuchar esta reunión en español, y tendrán que ingresar el número de la reunión para la identificación, que es el 389-1010. De nuevo, el número de teléfono es el 888-566-1377 e ingresen el número de identificación de la reunión, que es el 389-1010. Para los hispanohablantes que gusten escuchar esta reunión en español. Gracias. Thank you.
Gracias, Margarita. Now we go to Ravi for roll call.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Lamont, Commissioner Sadwani, Commissioner Sanai.
Here.
Commissioner Taylor,
Present.
Commissioner Toledo,
Present.
Commissioner Turner,
Here.
Commissioner Vasquez, Commissioner Yee,
Here.
Commissioner Ahmad,
Here.
Commissioner Akutagawa,
Here.
Commissioner Anderson, Commissioner Fernandez,
Presente.
Commissioner Foranshari, Commissioner Foranshari,
Here? Can you hear me? Okay.
Commissioner Kennedy. Commissioner Kennedy.
Yes, sorry, my laptop crashed.
No problem. Roll call is
So we're back.
complete.
Very good. Thank you, Ravi.
You're welcome.
Before we begin, we want to acknowledge all of those who are being impacted by the Caldor, Dixie, Monument, South, and other wildfires burning now in California. Know that we're thinking of you, your families, and your community. We understand that you may not be able to participate today, but we encourage you to do so later. Remember that you can call in to any of our communities of interest input sessions, not only the ones focusing specifically on your area of the state. Your voice and the voice of all Californians is important to ensure fair and representative maps. I'll start by sharing a little bit about the Commission. Every 10 years, after the federal government publishes updated census information, California must redraw the boundaries of its congressional, state senate, state assembly, and state board of equalization districts so that the districts correctly reflect the state's population. In 2008, California voters authorized the creation of the commission when they passed the Voters First Act. It authorized the commission to draw the new district lines for state senate, state assembly, and state board of equalization districts. In 2010, the Voters First Act for Congress added the responsibility of drawing congressional districts to the commission's mandate. The 14-member commission is made up of 5 Democrats, 5 Republicans, and 4 not affiliated with either of those 2 parties. The commission must draw the district lines in conformity with strict nonpartisan rules contained in the state constitution, designed to create districts of relatively equal population that will provide fair representation for all Californians. The census redistricting data was released the week of August 9th. Once the official California redistricting database is available to us in late September, the Commission will begin drawing maps using those 6 line drawing criteria set out in the state constitution. One of those is minimizing the division of cities, counties, neighborhoods, and communities of interest to the extent possible. We can obtain the city and county information from those jurisdictions, but we need the neighborhood and communities of interest information from Californians directly. That's why we launched these communities of interest input sessions back in June to get the valuable information from you directly. We encourage all Californians to participate in this process. If you would rather submit your communities of interest input over the internet, you can do so from our website or by visiting our online tool at drawmycacommunity.org. You can skip the line and go online. Now I'll call on all commissioners to introduce themselves and to say hello. To see the biographies for all 14 commissioners, for additional information, or to sign up for our emails, please visit our website at wedrawthelinesca.org. Commissioner Vasquez will join us at 5 o'clock. We'll go next to Commissioner Ahmed.
Thank you, Chair, and hello to everyone and good afternoon. I am very excited to continue to learn about the communities down in San Bernardino and Riverside counties and surrounding areas, and anyone else across California who may want to call in and provide their input. Looking forward to a great meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Ahmed. Commissioner Akutagawa. Commissioner Anderson.
Well, good afternoon, California, and welcome to all those in San Bernardino, Riverside counties. I'm coming to you from Berkeley, California, up in the north, and I'm looking forward to hearing all about your communities and what makes them special today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Anderson. Commissioner Fernandez.
Buenas tardes, California, y muchas gracias por acompañarnos hoy en la Junta. Soy Alicia Fernández del Condado de Yolo. Good afternoon, everyone, all Californians. I'm Alicia Fernandez from Yolo County, and as a commissioner, the commissioners are saying, I'm looking forward to hearing more about your communities. I learn a little bit more each time, so thank you for joining us and for forwarding the information.
Thank you, Commissioner Fernandez. Commissioner Fornashari.
Good afternoon, California. I'm Neil Fornashari. I'm coming to you from Tracy in San Joaquin County at the northern end of the San Joaquin Valley. Looking forward to hearing more about what's important to you all when it comes to redistricting. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Commissioner Fornashari. Commissioner Sadwani.
Good afternoon. Apologies, I was running a little late this afternoon. Very happy to be here. My name is Sarah Sadwani. I am calling in today from Claremont, California, just on the border, almost into San Bernardino County, where I am a professor at Pomona College. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about your communities of interest this afternoon. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Commissioner Sadwani. Commissioner Sanai.
Thank you, Chair. Hola, vecinos. Estoy muy contento de comenzar nuestra semana con ustedes y aprendiendo más de sus comunidades. Es un honor servirles desde San Diego. Hello, neighbors. I'm so happy to start my Monday hearing about your communities. It's an honor to serve you from San Diego.
Gracias, Commissioner Sinai. Commissioner Taylor.
Good afternoon. My name is Derek Taylor. I'm joining you from Los Angeles County. So I'm your other neighbor from Commissioner Sinai. I look forward to your testimony, learning more about your areas, your communities of interest. Without you, our work is not possible. So keep it coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Commissioner Toledo.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Commissioner Toledo from Petaluma, California, up in Sonoma County and Wine Country. I'm looking forward to hearing all about your communities of interest and learning more about your areas and what makes it unique. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Toledo. Commissioner Turner. Commissioner Turner, I heard you earlier. Commissioner Yee.
Good afternoon, California, and especially those in San Bernardino and Riverside counties. I'm Russell Yee here at my home in Oakland. And many years ago, for a time, I was going to school in Dallas and drove back and forth from Oakland to Dallas. And each time had to decide, will we take the northern route on 40 through San Bernardino or the southern route on 10 through Riverside? And it was pretty much a toss-up. So I spent quite a bit of time on both. Beautiful country. Also, thank you, San Bernardino, for hosting the Big Bear Marathon, which I ran a couple of years ago. It was my best race ever. Really enjoyed it. Such a beautiful run down Highway 38, down into Redlands Sports Park, the finish line. Just had a happy, happy day there. And thank you for that.
Thank you, Commissioner Yee. Back to Commissioner Turner.
Yes, thank you so much. I missed my entry call. I'm Commissioner Trina Turner, and I would like to welcome you. I have other things going on in the background today, so you won't be able to see my amazing face, but I am looking forward to seeing all of you all. Welcome to this series. We're looking forward to hearing from you, what is special for you, what's important for you. We are absolutely enjoying every time you call in. And just want to say welcome. I'm in the San Joaquin Central Valley, bringing you greetings from Stockton, California. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Turner. I'm Commissioner Ray Kennedy. I was a Palm Springs resident for 15 years before moving up to Morongo Valley, which is one of the rural Joshua Tree Gateway communities in southern San Bernardino County a little over a year ago. Enjoying my life up here with my friendly roadrunners and rabbits and all the other wildlife up here. Really looking forward to hearing from neighbors in San Bernardino and Riverside counties. I understand that we have not only a full list of appointments, but we're expecting plenty of call-ins as well. So I'm anticipating that once again, San Bernardino and Riverside will show everybody else how it's done as far as participation in this process. Really looking forward to hearing from everyone. Thank you so much. We are active on social media, so please also follow the Commission on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube at We Draw the Lines CA. Following us on social media is another way to get useful information about redistricting and updates from the Commission. Before we continue, could I please have our Spanish interpreter provide our language line numbers one more time? That's the Spanish language line instruction.
Yes, Chair, this is Margarita, Spanish interpreter. I will provide the Spanish language line instructions in Spanish. Buenas tardes, soy la intérprete. Les voy a dar las instrucciones de la línea telefónica en español. Aquellos que deseen escuchar la reunión en español, llamen al 888-566-1377 Ingresen el número de la reunión 389-1010. De nuevo, ese número es 888-566-1377. E ingresen el número de la reunión que es el 389-1010 para aquellos que deseen escuchar la reunión en español. Gracias. Thank you.
Gracias, Margarita. We'll move on to our housekeeping rules. This meeting is primarily for communities of interest testimony focused on Riverside and San Bernardino counties and surrounding areas. As I said earlier, though, anyone in California can call in to provide input on their community of interest. We will also invite general public comment at the end of today's meeting. Although the Commission has divided California up into 11 zones, that is in no way related to or reflective of redistricting lines or boundaries. The Commission created the zones to assist us and our staff in our outreach efforts only, not as any indication of planned district boundaries. Today, we're joined by our line drawing team, Haystack DNA and Q2 Data and Research LLC, who will be displaying a map of the area that attendees describe. Please start with the area you would like to discuss and be as specific as possible about the boundaries of where your community of interest is located. It is our goal to find the area on the map that you would like to discuss prior to the start of your testimony. If you are within a specific neighborhood of a large city, please mention it by name. Once we are able to locate your area, your timer will begin. Attendees will not be able to share their screen. We are joined by our Spanish interpreters and by Katie, our comment moderator, who will be introducing attendees when it is their turn to speak. When you join the meeting, please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the queue. If you have registered for a time slot, we encourage you to call in during your appointment time slot. When it is your turn to speak, Katie, the comment moderator, will be identifying you by your assigned unique ID number. You will be reconnected to the session with the ability to enable your own video and or audio. We want to remind folks that registration is not required to participate in this public input meeting. The public has the option of calling in during the meeting to get in the queue to speak. If you do not have an appointment and wish to call in to provide public input, the number is 877-853-5247. Again, the number to provide input is 877-853-5247. You will need to enter meeting ID 830-4657-8304. This call-in information and access code are also listed on the live screen. You will need to dial this number in order to give public input. Today, there will be Spanish interpreters available to interpret non-English input at this call-in number. The comment moderator will assign you a speaker order number before you begin speaking. Please make note of that speaker order number for future reference. You'll be able to use that number to identify your community of interest testimony on our website at a future date. The Commission will be enforcing a 3-minute time limit for English speakers and a 6-minute time limit for those speaking through an interpreter. There will be a warning at 30 seconds and at 15 seconds remaining. At the beginning of your input, you will see a map on the screen. Please remind the mapper what area you would like to see on the screen and be as specific as possible about the boundaries of where your community is located. If at the conclusion of the meeting at 8 o'clock, there is still a need to allow for members of the public in the queue to speak, We will continue this Communities of Interest Input meeting at a new date and time, and will attempt to schedule the remaining members of the public to speak for the allotted 3 minutes. Please monitor the website as we expect to post the continuation of this agenda within 24 hours. While there are no clear rules on how to define a community of interest, we've identified a number of ways for you to describe your community. First of all, begin with your county or city. Mention the street names and significant locations in your neighborhood to help us identify the parameters of your community. What are your shared interests? What brings you together? What is important to your community? Are there nearby areas that you want to be in a district with? Are there nearby areas that you do not want to be in a district with? Tell us why. Has your community come together to advocate for important services, better schools, roads, or healthcare centers in your neighborhood? Let us know all of that. Also, we invite you to use the Communities of Interest tool to draw a map and describe your community by visiting drawmycacommunity.org. That online tool is available in 16 languages, and you can skip the line and go online. Submit your Community of Interest input today, and please encourage at least 3 other people to do the same. As a reminder, even though we are focusing on Riverside and San Bernardino counties this afternoon, Californians from anywhere in the state are welcome to call in and provide input on their communities of interest. We'll now begin the public input sessions, and we'll start with those who are registered, and then open the phone lines if there is time before the next session. If you are calling without an appointment, please do not hang up, as you will lose your place in line. I'll now pass this over to Katie, our comment moderator. Take it away, Katie.
Thank you so much, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the public input session. Please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the queue. When it is your turn to speak, I will identify you by your assigned unique ID number from your invite. You will be reconnected to the session with the ability to enable your own video and/or audio. You will then be assigned a speaker order number before you begin speaking. Please make a note of your speaker order number for future reference. The Commission will be enforcing a 3-minute time limit for English speakers and a 6-minute time limit for those with an interpreter. There will be a warning at 30 seconds and 15 seconds remaining. It is the Commission's goal to find the area on the map you would like to discuss prior to your testimony. If you are within a specific neighborhood of a large city, please mention it by name. Once we are able to locate your area, your 3-minute or 6-minute testimony will begin. Attendees will not be able to share their screen. At the end of your public input, or at the end of your time, you will be reconnected in a listen and view only mode. At the beginning of your input, please remind the mapper of what area you would like to see on the screen. At this time, will be 017, and then up next will be 001. 017, I will be promoting you now. 017, your speaker order number is number 1. If you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yes, good afternoon. This is Bill Rue. I am the Mayor Pro Tem for the City of Montclair. I have resided in the City of Montclair my entire life. Montclair rests within San Bernardino County in the 52nd Assembly District, the 20th Senate District, and the 35th Congressional District. In looking at the commonalities of our communities, as I said, a lifetime resident of the city. I have gone back and looked at maps from 60 years ago, looking at the Assembly, Senate, and congressional districts that were configured at that time, and then looking at the ones that moved forward 50 years, 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, then 10 years ago. What is very common in all of these is that although Montclair rests in San Bernardino County, over the years, our districts have been shared with those in the LA County area, specifically the San Gabriel Valley. Over the years, we have been linked with Pomona, Claremont, Laverne, as well as our neighbors in Upland, Chino, Ontario. I believe that there's a tremendous commonality of interest in all of these communities. We are working on the Gold Line, which will run from the Pasadena area to Pomona, to Claremont, and finally into the city of Montclair. We work with our representatives to help on the funding. Many of those representatives are in the San Gabriel Valley. We share a commonality of interest in the fact that most of our residents commute westward to work. That's where they recreate, and most of our students, for higher education, their 4-year career, go to Cal Poly Pomona, the Claremont Consortium, the University of Laverne, and Azusa Pacific University. That being said, we are very close to our neighbors in Upland and Ontario and Chino, sharing the Ontario Montclair School District with Ontario, the Chaffey High School District, and of course our Chaffey College District, which encompasses Upland, Rancho Cucamonga, Ontario, Chino, Chino Hills, and Fontana. I believe that in looking at this, our residents have very much tied into the San Gabriel Valley and the Near Inland Empire, the western end. These communities have grown up together.
30 seconds.
They move together, they work together. So I'd ask you to keep that in mind when you look at drawing these maps. And I thank you for your time today. Good luck, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 001, and then up next will be 010. 001, I will be promoting you now. 001, your speaker order number will be number 2. If you will please make note of that for future reference. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yes, good afternoon. I will be discussing the areas of Chino and Chino Hills in San Bernardino County. Honorable commissioners and fellow members of the public, good afternoon. My name is Christina Gagne, and I'm here today in 2 capacities to advocate for the consideration of a particular community of interest within San Bernardino County, specifically the cities of Chino and Chino Hills. First, although I come before you in an individual capacity, I am currently an elected member and the vice president of the Chino Valley Unified School District Governing Board. Second, I serve as the chair of the board of directors for the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce, which serves the business community in the greater Chino Valley region. I was born in Chino and I currently live in Chino Hills. My reason for sharing this fact, clearly important to me, probably less so to you, is that when I was born in Chino, I was technically born in what is now Chino Hills. These cities are now their own separate entities, but certainly share common interests and institutions. These cities share a common school district in the Chino Valley Unified School District, a common fire district in the Chino Valley Fire District, and a common chamber of commerce with the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce. Additionally, these cities both reside in the bounds of San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors District 4, alongside Montclair, Ontario, and parts of Upland. Despite these commonalities and a mere freeway somewhat dividing the communities geographically, these cities currently have different members of the State Assembly, the State Senate, and U.S. Congress representing them. It is hard in these times to avoid a discussion of this pandemic, but the pandemic has shed light on the challenges of having 6 different elected representatives in state and federal office to seek support and communicate challenges to and with. Given the shared interests in cross-community events, programming, and other commonalities between the cities of Chino and Chino Hills, I advocate today for both of these cities to reside in the same California State Assembly, California State Senate, and Congressional District. Alongside the cities of Montclair and Ontario, this inclusion aligns with the County Supervisorial District. As this commission is working to make decisions about the district boundaries for 2022, I would respectfully request that this commission consider evaluating the following factors for my cities that I collectively call home. These were the same cities. They reside in the same county. They are a part of the same economic corridor. They have similar interests in transportation, regional growth, and opportunity. They are represented by the same county supervisor. If this is not a community of interest, I'm not sure what is. I would like to thank the Commission for providing this time for public comment and your commitment to this process. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 010, and then up next will be 007. 010, I will be promoting you now. Zero 10, your speaker order number will be number 3, if you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Nino Lopez. I am a resident of Grand Terrace, California.
Thank you.
Just some points I wanted to make. San Bernardino City's home medium for a family home is family home income medium is $45,000 annually. Medium incomes in Redlands and Grand Terrace are in the $70,000 range. That's nearly 50% higher than the city of San Bernardino. San Bernardino's poverty rates are nearly 3 times those of the city of Grand Terrace. There's also a significant number of nurse and healthcare professionals who live in Grand Terrace and work in Loma Linda. Housing values are comparable between Loma Linda and Grand Terrace, in addition to being comparable in their diverse communities. Once again, San Bernardino City demonstrates much more likeness to the cities of Ontario, Rialto, Fontana, and Colton. And I ask that Grand Terrace be moved into districts with cities like Redlands and Loma Linda so that representatives can focus on communities that share the same traits as us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right now we will have 007, and then up next will be 011. 007, I will be promoting you now. .007, your speaker order number will be number 4, if you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good morning. I would like to discuss, good afternoon. I would like to discuss Big Bear Lake. Yes, that's good. Thank you. I've been a 38-year resident of Big Bear Lake. I currently work for the Visit Big Bear. We are a destination marketing organization to try to get visitors to come up to Big Bear. We are a small rural community in the San Bernardino Mountains. We're dependent on tourism significantly for our income. That's the majority of our jobs and activities. We're also unique in that we're located completely within the San Bernardino National Forest. It completely surrounds us, and we have 3 highways coming in and out of Big Bear through that forest out to the rest of the surrounding community. We, as the Commissioner Kennedy mentioned earlier, wildfire is a real threat for Big Bear, and he mentioned that it's happening elsewhere in the state. Which we have had it before. It's a very scary thing for us people out in the rural communities. While our community is small, we share many commonalities with other communities across our mountaintop here in San Bernardino, Lake Arrowhead, Crestline, Wrightwood. All of these communities depend on tourism and rely, like us, on the National Forest to be well maintained and safe for our residents and our visitors. I would ask the commission to please keep these rural mountain communities together. Our community of interest is very strong across the mountaintop all the way over to Wrightwood, which is across the freeway. The other thing is, excuse me, I would like the commission to keep in mind that we have a connection with other rural communities off the mountain. We really do not feel a commonality with the San Bernardino area, the urban area. We feel a much more commonality and frankly a culture with the desert. And Commissioner Kennedy had also mentioned that he moved to the Morongo Basin, and we really Joshua Tree down in the Morongo Basin there, and Yucca Valley and that whole area is a tourism area that we share visitors. When people come to Big Bear, we tell them to go to Joshua. When they come to Joshua, they tell the tourists to go up to Big Bear. There's a great connection there.
30 seconds.
We have 3 corridors that are very important: Highway 38 down to Yucaipa, Highway 18 to Victorville, Hesperia, Apple Valley, and then Highway 138 goes the back way to Hesperia there also.
15 seconds.
So thank you for your time today. Final request is please keep us connected to our desert friends in the high desert. That is the greatest area of commonality for Big Bear. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right now we will have 011, and then up next will be 022. 011, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number will be number 5, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the member know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me okay?
Sure can.
Wonderful. My name is Michelle Sabino, and I am a resident of the city of Grand Terrace. Okay. And I have resided both in San Bernardino, born and raised there. My family's been there for almost 130 years. And as a resident of Grand Terrace, I'd like to talk about how Grand Terrace aligns better and more with Loma Linda and Redlands as it does to such cities as Colton and the city of San Bernardino. Grand Terrace has a population of approximately 13,000. It's located along the 215 corridor between Riverside and San Bernardino counties. So we're right on that border there. With Grand Terrace being proximally located to the city of San Bernardino, it has put us in the district with that city. However, Grand Terrace is vastly different from Colton and San Bernardino. San Bernardino and Colton are equally comprised of 51% of households who speak a language other than English, as well as have a demographic that is approximately 65% Latino. Both cities should be included in a voting rights district, and if the district is the size of a Senate seat, include Ontario and Rialto as well, if we're looking at both Colton and San Bernardino areas. The median income for the city of San Bernardino is approximately $45,000, with the median income in Redlands and Grand Terrace being approximately $70,000 in range. If you also look at the comparison of both those areas, San Bernardino's poverty rates are nearly 3 times higher than that of the city of Grand Terrace, with about 40% living 200% below the poverty line. And so you also have residents in Grand Terrace who are proximal to Loma Linda, who are healthcare workers, and who are connected locally to that community itself. If we're looking at housing values pre the spike, both Loma Linda, Grand Terrace, and Redlands also have comparable values, in addition to being comparable in diverse communities, which the diversity is not demonstrated in areas like San Bernardino, Colton, and those other areas. Again, San Bernardino just demonstrates more likeness to Ontario, and we ask that Grand Terrace please be moved into districts with more likeness, with more comparable areas such as Redlands and Loma Linda, so that way our representatives can continue to focus on communities that share the same traits. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Right now we will have 022, and then up next after that will be 005. 022, I will be promoting you now. 022, your speaker order number is number 6, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
I am calling about Assembly District 56 and 42 in and around the Coachella Valley.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Hello, Commission. My name is Karen. I am a lifelong resident of the Coachella Valley and a resident of the city of Indio. Indio is the largest city in the region. We had a 17% population growth in these last 10 years. 69% of the population identifies as Latino. It is important that the city of Indio continue to form part of AD 56 in Coachella and the with Coachella and the unincorporated communities of the Eastern Coachella Valley. Together, voters in Indio, Coachella, and unincorporated Eastern Riverside County passed a measure to incorporate ourselves into the Desert Healthcare District in 2018. This vote allowed that the Desert Healthcare District provide COVID testing, vaccines, relief to these cities. The Latino voting bloc in Assembly District 56 needs to continue to be protected so we can continue to advocate for ourselves in the needs that we have, including healthcare access. Similar to the strong Latino vote in AD 56, the Black residents of the west side of the valley would have a stronger vote if Desert Hot Springs became part of Assembly District 42 and not an outliner. Desert Hot Springs is the fastest growing city in the Coachella Valley and deserves to be represented as such with a strong Black and Latino vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right now we will have a 005, and then up next after that will be 012. 005, I will be promoting you now. 005, your speaker order number will be number 7, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now, if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yes, the area I'd like to discuss is Southwest Riverside County.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. Based on the many common factors among Lake Elsinore, Diamond Valley Lake, and the private Canyon Lake area, it makes sense for one senator to represent these recreational areas who share potential educational challenges and funding needs. A single advocate who understands the collective needs of these areas can be an efficient and effective voice for these communities. California school districts receive funding from a variety of sources. The largest single source of funding is through the Local Control Funding Formula, also called LCFF. The per district amount received is based on student average daily attendance by grade span. However, additional funding is provided for high percentages of targeted disadvantaged pupils, such as English learners, those who meet income requirements to receive a free or reduced price meal, foster youth, or any combination of these factors. Districts also receive restricted funds for certain student populations, such as English learners or students with identified learning disabilities. My summary is focused on key data points that relate to the K-12 educational aspects of these areas, since this is my background. I collected data from the California Department of Education to identify which school districts service these recreational areas, and looked at common factors such as student enrollment, percentage of students that are identified as socioeconomically disadvantaged, English learners, foster youth, or special education, as well as the square miles serviced by the school districts. The California Department of Education webpage shows that the Diamond Valley Lake area is serviced by the Hemet Unified School District, while Lake Elsinore and Canyon Lake are serviced by the Lake Elsinore Unified School District. The data revealed several common factors. These are unified school districts, meaning that they service students in grades kindergarten through 12. They have similar numbers of student enrollment, and each of these districts has a significant population of socioeconomically disadvantaged students, English learners, foster youth, and special education students. They service students over 7 miles. which means student transportation and associated funding is needed. Due to their commonalities, it makes sense for one senator to represent and advocate for these recreational areas. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for calling.
Right now we have 012, and then up next will be 008. 012, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number will be number 8. If you will please make note of that for future reference, and if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I would like to discuss the U.S. Forest Service property in San Bernardino County, north of Upland and Rancho Cucamonga. This is currently in Congressional District number 8.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. My name's Janice Elliott, and I'm a resident and city council member of the city of Upland, and I am speaking on my own behalf. I've been hiking in these mountains for over 30 years, and I have gone to Washington, D.C. to lobby our federal representatives for wilderness designation of this area on 2 separate campaigns as a Sierra Club representative. I chose to move to Upland because of the proximity of these mountains. Now I'm on the board of the West End Consolidated Water Company that pumps water from the ground, from groundwater in the foothills of the San Gabriel Mountains that's recharged by runoff flowing from these mountains. The quality and quantity of our water is affected by water management practices and policies in these mountains. The foothill community from Upland to Rancho Cucamonga have a strong interest in how the San Bernardino National Forest to our north is managed. Since these federal public lands contiguous to our communities, the cities of Rancho Cucamonga and Upland need a member of Congress who can help obtain federal resources and influence the federal agency that manages the federal public land directly to the north of us. These foothill communities south of the San Gabriel Mountains share many common traits and a very important relationship to our adjacent mountains. This makes our cities a community of interest, which should be in the same conditional interest as the San Gabriel Mountains, so that we could have that member of Congress assigned to us. Other issues that our community shares with these mountains to the north are zoning and fire-safe structures, fire control and management, watershed management and flood control, recreational quality and availability, parking near trailheads, law enforcement. We have a high propensity of visitors to these forests. We have historic ties to the forest. We are concerned about the chaparral ecosystem of these forests, the spatial orientation to the forest. These forests, these beautiful mountains are our scenic view from our communities. The weather influences our community, and there are public policy issues in the forest that concern us as well. The protection of forest wildlife and plant species affect us. In addition, as a city council member of the city of Upland, but speaking on my own behalf, we are divided from a Senate standpoint in 2 separate districts, a state Senate. We should be represented by the same state senator. So thank you so much, commissioners, for taking great care to ensure our district lines encompass communities of interest and for
time.
Christian, we need to clarify a couple of things with her.
Sure thing. Just a moment. (012), if you could please unmute. The chair had some additional questions for you.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted.
Thank you, Ms. Elliott. We just want to get a better sense from you. Are you wanting any sort of connection, not only the connection to the mountains to the north of you, but is there also a connection between those mountains and the same national forest lands across the county line in Los Angeles County?
My specific concern is the mountains where we share the watershed and trails and the background. So I'm mostly concerned to the waters due north.
Okay, so that is your concern. You're not talking about or advocating for any sort of tie across the county line.
Thank you
into Los Angeles.
for asking for that clarification. No, I'm specifically addressing the area that's now California Congressional District number 8. It would be nice if that area were brought down so that we would all be part of the same district as that mountain region.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right now we will have 008, and then up next after that will be 019. 008, I will be promoting you now. (008), your speaker order number will be number 9, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the member know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
This is a fortuitous pairing. I actually want to talk about the same areas, Congressional District 38 and 8, and the relationship of the cities just mentioned to the National Forest to the north. So we're looking at Rancho Cucamonga, Upland, and the National Forest to the north. Thank you very much. My name is John Munson, and I work with Nature for All, a regional organization, part of whose mission is to protect our magnificent national forest lands between CA 14 in LA County and the I-15 and 15 in San Bernardino National County. So I'm going to be really focusing on the idea of how we locate public lands in relationship to nearby communities. So I should also mention too that our opinion is that Congressional District 27 and 28 are already very well drawn with the communities in the north, foothill communities of interest just below, and additional communities to the south. So that is one reason we're not proposing any. We're really talking about the section of the San Bernardino National Forest that's in San Bernardino County, and it was not well placed in the last in 2011. Our basic logic is that public land should be located in the same congressional district as nearby communities that have a strong interest in their well-being and how they're managed. Often these communities will form a strong community of interest based on the relationship with the public land and with each other. One common trait is a concern about wildfire, and these communities share high risk fire zones right along the forest, and that's another thing they have in common. Since the last speaker went into a lot of the commonalities, I'm not going to go into them, but I do want to mention that if you stand in Rancho Cucamonga's North Etowanda Creek Preserve, you can look up at the magnificent 880,000 foot Cucamonga Peak, which is in a different congressional district than where you're standing. In fact, if you hike from the preserve a few hundred yards, you can hike into a different congressional district, which is Congressional District 8. If you drive to Bishop, Barstow, or Hesperia, you'll be in the same congressional district as Cucamonga Peak. This makes no sense. We urge you to correct this. Whatever congressional district you put Rancho Cucamonga and Upland in, for that matter, include the San Bernardino National Forest to the north, in which they have a major interest. Draw the border along the northern national forest boundary or some other logical line that might include the 215.
30 seconds.
Not the southern boundary as currently in the case, which means that Rancho Cucamonga does not have a member of Congress that has any clout about national forest issues. We want to have people with public lands the people have public lands that they have a high interest in adjacent to them, have members of Congress who will be responsive and authoritative when it comes to the constituents' needs about those federal public lands. And so we ask you to change the way that
time.
Thank you, Mr. Munson.
At this time, we will have 019, and then up next after that will be 004. 019, I will be promoting you now. 019, your speaker order number will be number 10, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. Oh, you are still on mute, though. One moment.
I do apologize. Thank you, everybody.
Perfect.
I'm talking about Moreno Valley, Paris, Hemet, and San Jacinto. My name is Bobby Butts. I live in Riverside County. I work in Riverside County. I am here to talk about the African American community in the cities of Moreno Valley, Paris, Hemet, and San Jacinto. We need to ensure that African Americans' voice as a minority population is not weakened according to the Voting Rights Act. Currently, the center of the community is separated by two assembly districts, Assembly District 61 and Assembly District 42. Due to these changes, we are seeking the placement of the cities of Moreno Valley, Paris, Hemet, and San Jacinto be included in the same Assembly, Senate, and congressional districts. This will ensure the protection of voting strength of African American communities who share a common history, culture, celebrate the same cultural events such as Kwanzaa and Juneteenth, worship together in the same churches. The community is deeply concerned about issues of racism, public safety, voting rights, education, and we share the same health issues such as infant mortality, hypertension, colon cancer, not including Moreno Valley, Paris, Hemet, and San Jacinto in the same districts would dilute our ability to elect our own representatives as a minority group, which would be a violation of the Voting Rights Act. However, equally as important is to make sure that these cities are not included with the cities of Temecula, Lake Elsinore, and Riverside, who do not share the same values, cultures, or issues of concerns. We need to ensure that African American voice as a minority population is not weakened according to the Voting Rights Act. Currently, the center of the community is separated by two assembly districts, Assembly District 61, Assembly District 42. Thank you for considering our community. Thank you for time and allowing me to share.
Thank you, Ms. Butts.
Right now we will have 004, and then up next will be 015. I'd also like to give 006 the opportunity to raise their hand as you have an appointment during this session. 006, if you would like to use the raise your hand button option at the bottom of your screen to get in the comment queue line, that will put you in line for your appointment. 004, I will be promoting you now. .004. Your speaker order number will be number 11, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. My name is David Morgan, and I'd like to discuss Southwest Riverside County. When I say Southwest Riverside County, I specifically live in the city of Canyon Lake, which is the 47th Congressional District, the 28th Senatorial District, and the 67th Assembly District. I moved to the Southwest Riverside County approximately 18 years ago as a single father raising a daughter. I moved here to have a safer community and strong academic programs to raise my daughter in. I was very pleased. I was living in the city of Menifee prior to it being incorporated at that time. I then moved to Canyon Lake for more safety because of the hours that I was keeping out there, and I began to really appreciate Southwest Riverside County. I see a lot of growth taking place here. There's still a lot of building. It's a sort of rural, but it has its headaches because of the building that's taking place here. There's rapid growth. So we have water supply issues. We have traffic issues. And I believe that if we keep the same representatives that have been here dealing with those issues, that we'll have some success in what we need to do. So I'm calling in today to ask that you keep our area together as it sits, 42nd Congressional, 28th Senatorial, 57th Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
Right now we will have a 015, and then up next after that will be 009. 015, I will be promoting you now. Zero 15. Your speaker order number will be number 12 if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you.
Oh, that was my fault.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
I will be just discussing the region of the Inland Empire consisting of San Bernardino and Riverside County.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Natasha Brown, and I am a representative of the California Black Census and Redistricting Hub and a resident of the Inland Empire. I am calling in to summarize and uplift the communities of interest that our coalition members and our community members have identified in 11 community feedback sessions with 31 Inland Empire residents. Our coalition partners, Blue Education Foundation, Starting Over, Time for Change Foundation, and COPE spent months engaging members of the community on where they're located and what issues are most prevalent for this region. Each community session we held provided an opportunity for our community to come together and discuss the importance of the redistricting process, as well as the impact it will eventually have on future generations of Black people in the Inland Empire. Similar to the commission's process, we were able to shed light on how they can engage in this process and the significant opportunity we have to ensure equitable district lines are drawn. During the community sessions, many issues were identified that impact the daily lives of the Black communities in Rialto, Desert Hot Springs, Victorville, Rancho Cucamonga, Riverside, Corona, and Moreno Valley. Our communities are filled with hardworking people who care deeply about their environment and have been struggling economically. Each COI session held a similar message of decay in the local infrastructure, a mass closing of community and commercial businesses before and during the pandemic, and little to no assistance from their local representatives. The Black community in San Bernardino has dealt with high rates of homelessness and poverty since the 2008 financial crisis and has never fully recovered. And if you travel west on the 210, the impact of vast food deserts, closed commercial real estate, and escalated rates of crime during the COVID-19 pandemic has disabled most in Rialto. These communities are mostly made up of blue-collar, hardworking Black folks. We need better representation to deliver resources that all communities deserve. The Black COI of Desert Hot Springs is segregated from the rest of the Palm Springs area. And for a community near some of the most cared-for places in the region, the commentary coming from our community members is that they feel forgotten and are not taken into consideration. Throughout the COI phase, we have expressed the need for the Black community in the Inland Empire to be protected and its need of advancement. You can help reverse the negative impact by drawing equitable districts that take into account the experiences we have uplifted this evening and in previous meetings. Thank you for this open process, willing to empathize, and your service to our state. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Right now we will have 009, and then up next after that will be 006. 009, I will be promoting you now. 009, your speaker order number will be number 13 if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
The city of Chino, Chino Hills, Diamond Bar, Walnut, and Roland Heights. Hello, my name is Dolores. I am a resident of the city of Chino. I am calling to ask that you please keep Chino Hills in its current districts. As a resident of Chino, I can tell you firsthand that we do not share anything truly tangible with Chino Hills besides the name Chino. The city of Chino is primarily Latino, blue-collar community that still has active dairy farms that date back to the 1800s. The majority of homes in Chino are older and the families are long rooted here. We share demographics, socioeconomics, and lifestyle amenities with Pomona, Ontario, not Chino Hills. Chino Hills was established in 1991 and boasts newer housing developments, younger families, and a growing API community. Respectfully, I request that you please keep Chino Hills in its current district lines at the state and federal level and keep my home, City of Chino, in its current state and federal districts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right now, I will be going to 006. And I'd like to invite all of those that have called in at this time to please press star 9 on their telephone keypad to raise your hand and get in line, as we will be moving on to callers. Right now, we will be going to 006 as they have an appointment during this session. And then up next after that will be 024, and then we will be moving on to the caller's hands. Again, please press star 9 to raise your hands indicating you wish to give comment. 006, I will be promoting you now. .006 may be having some connectivity issues. So let me try allow to talk. One moment. I'm waiting to see if Zoom land kidnapped 006. Pure 006 has disconnected at this time. I will go to them if they come back. So at this time, we will be going to 024. This time I will be going to 024. And then up next after that will be caller 5611. 024, I will be promoting you now. .024. Your speaker order number will be number 14, if you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
I will be discussing two areas, South Riverside County and the Coachella Valley. My name is Rachel Johnson, and I'm the Executive Director of the Farm Bureau, which is the oldest and largest nonprofit agricultural membership organization in Riverside County. The gross value of agricultural crops in Riverside County in 2019 was $1.3 billion, and the total agricultural contribution to the county's economy was over $3.6 billion. Agriculture employs over 28,000 people in Riverside County. Riverside County is one of the most diverse agricultural counties in California, growing over 100 different commodities. South Riverside County would be ideal for an assembly seat because of its several small but like cities and unincorporated areas that share similar characteristics that are important to the fabric of their communities. Some of these cities include Temecula, South Corona, Menifee, Lake Elsinore, and Murrieta. The above referenced communities are located along a major transportation corridor that connects the communities. That would be I-15 and Interstate 215. The communities have a rich history of agriculture and still are considered one of the largest agricultural areas in Riverside County. They continue to farm citrus, row crops, and they are host to a growing wine region that is one of the strongest in the state of California. The communities face the challenges of water supply, stress on local road network, and overcrowding of schools. It is important that these communities continue to share the same representative who is able to bridge all communities to address the concerns that come with a high growth region. The Coachella Valley has an even larger focus on agriculture. The area farms citrus, row crops, table grapes, dates, and mangoes. This area would do well to have their own assembly district. Some of these cities include Thermo, Coachella, Palm Springs, Palm Desert, Indio, Mecca. While the cities along the I-15 corridor and the Coachella Valley are far from identical from a demographic standpoint, they both share tourism and agriculture. Both communities have significant agricultural components to them. For example, both communities are leading producers of grapes, just two different kinds. Keeping the Temecula Valley and I-15 corridor and Coachella Valley in the same Senate seat would allow one representative to focus on keeping these two vital agricultural economies strong. The two communities are linked by highways 371 and 74. The communities do not belong together as an assembly seat as they are not exactly alike. However, neither the I-15 corridor or the Coachella Valley has enough population to make up a Senate seat, and neither community fits with the Voting Rights Act Senate seat that is likely to emerge in the northern part of the county. So we ask for your consideration to put them together. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will have caller 5611, unique ID 039. And then up next after that will be caller 0232. Right now, we have caller 5611, unique ID 039. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 5611, your speaker ID number will be number 15 if you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. My name is Ramiro Ruiz, and I'd like to discuss Terrace, Moreno Valley, and Riverside. I've been living, I've been working, I've been studying, I've been succeeding with my neighbors in these cities that I've mentioned. We've grown together, we've learned together, we appreciate one another, and most important is we get along and we are accepted. Please, please, please don't separate us. We've seen it all in the news. Some of our neighbors to the south aren't too accepting or appreciative of people of my heritage, of my race. It is a sad topic that I have to bring up because we are living in 2021. But again, I ask, please, please don't separate us. The communities that I mentioned have been strong, we have been working together in order to succeed. Please, 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 please don't separate us. Please don't put us in harm's way. Please, please keep us safe. Please keep all Latinos safe. And I wish the best for all the other groups. But at this moment, I believe that separating us will waste our efforts. Please don't waste our efforts. Please don't put us in harm's way. And when I say harm's way, I mean not only people of my age or older people, but our youth. Our youth is all we have. Please keep us safe. Thank you for listening, and I wish everybody a wonderful day. Goodbye.
Thank you, Mr. Ruiz.
Right now, we will have caller 0232. And then up next after that will be caller 8499. Caller 0232, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing star 6. One more time, caller. Oh, there you are. Caller 0232. Your speaker order number will be number 16. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
I would like to discuss Lucerne Valley, and Lucerne Valley, California, and county is San Bernardino County. I oversee a church out here on the north side of Lucerne Valley, and it is off of Camp Rock Road. I've been out here for 26 years, and we have a lot of abandoned houses up here. The north side, where I oversee the church, is nothing over here. People come out to share the tourism for Big Bear, Joshua Tree. All these cities have things here. The land is cheap. People want to be out here, but they say there's nothing out here. Man, I've been out here for 26 years, in the high desert for over 30 years. And I would like to see some things from the south side of Lucerne Valley, at least shared with some of the things on the north side, like the water and the houses being fixed up or either tore down. We have a lot of growing. I don't know if it's cannabis, organic fruits, or what have you, but it's a lot of the water trucks that's coming down, tearing up the road. We do have meetings out here once a month to share the advocate for the services that's out here for better schools, roads, and different things like that. But we still don't have roads paved. And I've been out at the Mount Zion Church for, well, I've only been here 30 years, but the church's been here almost 70 years. Still no roads there. They have fixed up some of the roads a little bit. And we do have some one extra medical facility that we can come out and use. But we are all sharing the same commonality as retired seniors that's out here. We do have a little kids out here. That's why I moved out here, for retirement and to have a little luxury for the people who want to tour. But Lucerne Valley seems to be not a part of that. They use everything we have, but we don't have any services that on the north side that the service on the south side has. But my concern is to try to have a little more something on the north side as well as what we have on the south side, and try to tear some of these abandoned buildings down.
30 seconds.
Or either fix them up and make a better living for the seniors that's out here. Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Right now we will have caller 8499, and then up back after that will be caller 0057, unique ID 033. Right now is 8499. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute by pressing star 6. One more time, caller with the last four, 8499. If you will please press star 6 to unmute at this time. Appears to be some connectivity issues at this time. We will be going to our next caller. Caller 0057, unique ID 033. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 0057, unique ID 033. Your speaker ID number will be number 17, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ariana, and I would like to discuss the cities of Riverside, Terrace, and Marina Valley. I have been a native of the city of Terrace for more than 19 years and have created many connections with my local neighbors of Riverside and Marina Valley. On a day-to-day basis, I commute to Riverside to continue my education, where many of the students who attend RCC share the same struggles as myself, coming from a Hispanic community. On a day-to-day basis, my family and I commute to Marina Valley for our health care. Creating a separation between the three cities will cause harm. Harm to not only as an individual, but harm for all of us. We all share the same struggles. And many of us, due to the struggles that we have faced, because of how united we are as the three cities, we have empowered one another. And by creating the separation of the three cities and redistricting us into other cities and districts, it's gonna take away the power that after so long and the unity that we have created within generations and ages. It's gonna become a very harmful situation. I ask for you guys all to please do not separate the redistricting and continue redistricting us together, as we all share the same cultural similarities, the same struggles. Although we are different and we look different, but at the end of the day, Riverside, Marina Valley, and Terrace have that piece of grain that creates a unity between one another. And I ask for all of you to please keep us together and to not redistrict us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Romero.
At this time, we will go to caller with the last four, 1766. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 1766, your speaker order number will be number 18. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yes, I'd like to discuss the community of Jurupa Valley and Eastvale.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Commissioners, thank you for providing me the opportunity to testify today. My name is Bobby Halili. I am with the National Ecumenical Forum for Filipino Concerns, the Inland Empire Chapter, one of the partners of the Brown and Black Redistricting Alliance. My ethnic background is Filipino, and I immigrated to the U.S. in 1980. I live in a community that is bounded on the west by Archibald Avenue, on the north by the 60 Freeway, on the east by Mission Boulevard, and on the south by Central Avenue. The cities of Eastvale, Jurupa Valley, and the northern portion of Riverside make up my community. For the past 6 years, living within this community has been a very positive experience. There are a variety of multi-ethnic and linguistic groups, Filipino, Hispanic, Latino, Korean, African American, and Caucasians, who are of middle-class backgrounds that meet each other in church, board the Metrolink at Pedley Station, shop in the same stores, and dine in a variety of restaurants. Although we are a diverse community, we respect each other's cultural backgrounds and ethno-linguistic differences. Our community faces a lot of challenges, such as the environmental dangers posed by the ever-growing number of big rigs parking on our north side, a growing number of homeless living in some of our streets, and lack of affordable housing. However, we have been able as a community to come together and address this issue. I therefore would like the Commission to keep my community together. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right now, we will have caller 7519. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 7519. Your speaker order number will be number 19 if you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. Caller with the last 47519, can you hear me? You are unmuted. Hello? Caller with the last 47519, you are unmuted. Can you hear me? We cannot hear you at this time. Oh, well, you have remuted yourself. If you please press *6 one more time. There you are. Are you there? Can you hear me? Is your phone on mute?
Oh, sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
There you are. We sure can. Your speaker order
Sorry
number,
about that.
that's okay. Your speaker order number will be number 19 if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you'd like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Terrace, California. My name is Yesenia Diaz. I am a resident of Terrace, California. I've been living in Paris, in the city of Paris, for most of my life, where I found really incredible people, such as neighbors, friends, and amazing people. Paris really makes me feel like home. Some cities of interest to our Latino community are Riverside, Terrace, and Moreno Valley, where we go to school, go to work, do our regular every day-to-day stuff. It also brings warmth and pride to our Latino culture with our roots. Please don't separate our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Chair, at this time we are up against a break.
We are up against a break. So with that, we will take a break. When we come back from break at 5:45, we will start with individuals who are registered for an appointment time slot, after which we will open the phone lines again if there is time. And my colleague, Commissioner Vasquez, will be in the chair for the next session. So thank you, everyone, and we will see you at 5:45.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Commissioner Angela Vasquez. Thank you so much to my colleague, Commissioner Kennedy, for allowing me to share this facilitation space with him. We are encouraging you to visit the Communities of Interest tool to draw a map and describe your community by visiting drawmycacommunity.org. And for anyone who has joined us recently, we are offering language lines for the Spanish language speakers to listen to the meeting in their native language, and a separate line for those who wish to provide public comment or public input. And so could I please have our interpreter provide our language line number and information to provide public input? So I think our Spanish interpreter, if you could please read the site translation of full call-in instructions.
Yes, Chair, this is Margarita, Spanish interpreter. I will read the full call-in instructions. Para los hispanohablantes que deseen llamar y escuchar la reunión en español, por favor marquen el 888-566-1377 para escuchar esta reunión en español e ingresen el número de identificación de la reunión, que es el 389-1010. De nuevo, el número de teléfono es el 888-566-1377 e ingresen el número de identificación de la reunión, que es el 389-1010 para los hispanohablantes que deseen escuchar esta reunión en español. Si usted desea dar comentario público, el número de teléfono es el 877-853-5247. De nuevo, el número de teléfono para dar su comentario público es el 877-853-5247. Usted va a necesitar ingresar el número 830-4657-8304. Usted va a necesitar marcar este nuevo número de teléfono para poder dar su comentario público. Si usted va a usar o necesitar un intérprete para dar su comentario, se le proveerá uno en ese momento. Si usted desea hablar, por favor no cuelgue, si no perderá su lugar en la fila. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you so much. As a reminder, even though we are focusing on specific counties, Californians from anywhere in the state are welcome to provide input. So with that, I will pass this over to Katie, our comment moderator, to continue with the public input. We will start with people who are registered and then open the phone lines if there is time before the next session.
Thank you, Chair. I'd also like to invite the Spanish interpreter to follow me. Welcome to the public input session. Please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the queue. When it is your turn to speak, I will identify you by your assigned unique ID number from your invite. You will be reconnected to the session with the ability to enable your own video and/or audio. You will then be assigned a speaker order number before you begin speaking. Please make a note of your speaker order number for future reference. The Commission will be enforcing a 3-minute time limit for English speakers and a 6-minute time limit for those with an interpreter. There will be a warning at 30 seconds and 15 seconds remaining. It is the Commission's goal to find the area on the map you would like to discuss prior to your testimony. If you are within a specific neighborhood of a large city, please mention it by name. Once we are able to locate your area, your 3-minute testimony will begin. Attendees will not be able to share their screen. At the end of your public input, or at the end of your time, you will be reconnected in a listen and view only mode. At the beginning of your input, please remind the mapper of what area you would like to see on the screen. And also, I would like to extend the instruction to those that have called in with an appointment this evening to press *9 to raise your hand. And if Margarita could then follow me. You are on mute still.
Me gustaría darle la bienvenida a las personas que gusten dar comentarios en la sesión de comunidad de interés. Se le ha asignado un número de identificación y una vez que se le mencione esto, será reconectado de nuevo para poder ver y escuchar la reunión. Se le va a asignar un número de orador y le pediremos que por favor lo anote para que lo pueda consultar en el futuro. Para las personas que estén hablando inglés se le va a dar 3 minutos. Para las personas que necesiten intérprete van a tener 6 minutos. Cuando le quede 30 segundos durante su comentario, se le va a dar un aviso, al igual cuando le quede 15 segundos. La meta de la comisión es de poder encontrar el área en el mapa que usted identifique. Y si usted vive en un vecindario de una ciudad grande, por favor menciónela por nombre. Una vez que usted o que los cartógrafos ubiquen el área en el mapa que usted desea abordar, luego no va a poder compartir su pantalla, pero podrá empezar sus comentarios públicos. Después que termine, usted va a estar en modo de poder ver y escuchar nada más. Al principio de sus comentarios públicos, por favor, recuérdele al cartógrafo de cuál área gusta hablar. Para poder alzar la mano e indicar que usted gusta hablar, por favor, oprima el asterisco y el número 9.
Thank you so
Gracias.
much. Please stay on with us. Right now we have caller 5612, unique ID 035.
Por favor, siga con nosotros. Actualmente tenemos la llamada 5612 con el número de identificación único 035.
Caller 5612, if you will please press *6 to unmute at this time.
Para la llamada 5612, sí puede marcar u oprimir el asterisco y el 6 para poder activar su micrófono en este momento, por favor.
And one last time, caller 5612, if you will please press *6 to unmute at this time.
Una vez más, para la llamada 5612, sí puede oprimir el asterisco y el número 6 o la estrellita y el número 6 para activar su micrófono en este momento, por favor.
There may be some connectivity issues, so we will come back to them. If you could please let them know that.
Tal vez tengan problemas de conexión, entonces regresaremos con usted, por favor.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have caller 9879, unique ID 046. And then up next after that will be caller 3198, unique ID 38. Or 038, sorry. Caller 9879, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 9879, your speaker order number will be number 20. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Jimena Dominguez, and I'm calling from the city of Terrace in the Riverside County. My cities of interest are Riverside, Moreno Valley, and Terrace.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. The cities of Riverside, Moreno Valley, and Terrace are my cities of interest, and cities where I go to school at the community colleges and where I work. I believe that these cities should stay united because many years of work have gone to these communities, and these are cities where you see more awareness being shared about the Latino community. So bringing a change within these districts would affect all the hard work that has been done. So please keep Moreno Valley, Terrace, and Riverside united. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And right now will be caller 3198, unique ID 038. And then up next after that will be unique ID 026. Caller 3198, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 3198, your speaker order number will be number 21. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Ricardo. I would like to discuss the areas of Riverside, Moreno Valley, and Terrace.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Like I mentioned, my name is Ricardo. I've lived in Paris for about 17 years, almost 18. So almost the entirety of my life. I believe these cities should stay united because of our Latino community, our minority community, so our African Americans. Like, we've done so much to unite each other and keep each other safe from racial attacks. I believe if we're united with Temecula, more racial activity will happen, more racism. So please don't unite us. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And right now we will have 026, and then up next after that will be 025. 026, I will be promoting you now. (026), your speaker order number will be number 22, if you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi there, my name is Ben Anderson. I'm a resident of the city of Temecula, and I'm hoping to discuss Temecula, Fallbrook, Bonsall, Valley Center, and Escondido.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm the president of the Temecula Valley Neighborhood Coalition, which is a community organization that represents Temecula residents on housing priorities. And I wanted to testify on behalf of my neighbors to request that Temecula is put in the same district as other inland communities that I mentioned: Fallbrook, Bonsall, Valley Center, Escondido. These communities are important to stick together because they represent the I-15 corridor. I know that many of my neighbors rely on this freeway to go to work. Thousands of Temecula residents work in San Diego County, including Escondido, Fallbrook, other areas, even as far as Carlsbad or down closer into the city of San Diego. And it's also home to many active duty Marines who rely on the 15 freeway to go to Camp Pendleton. I actually had just recently a couple neighbors moved into my neighborhood who both work at Camp Pendleton. So they're utilizing this daily. So ensuring Temecula residents have a strong voice regarding freeway improvement projects on 15 South is vital. And additionally, many other North San Diego County communities like Fallbrook, Bonsall, Escondido also either commute to Temecula for their job or they drive to Temecula for shopping, dining, wine country, old town experiences. So keeping them going, going that way, keeping them together is very important as well. And then all those communities share similar housing priorities. They're all a mix of rural and suburban neighborhoods. They all have their own character. Having a unified voice in the legislature to discuss housing priorities, I believe, is very important. So for these reasons, I'm requesting that Temecula be kept in the same district as those other similar inland communities on the I-15 South corridor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will go to 025. I'd like to invite those that have called in that have appointments to please press star 9 on your telephone keypad. 025, I will be promoting you now. (025), your speaker order number will be number 23, if you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Alani LeBeau. The areas that I would like to be discussing are within the Inland Empire, so Rialto, San Bernardino, Fontana, and Colton. Hello, my name is Alani LeBeau, and I work with Blue Educational Foundation, a nonprofit organization in San Bernardino County. I have lived and worked in these communities for several years, and I'm able to witness firsthand the advancement in other areas while others continue to be in a state of decline. The main mission that we have is to increase representation and access to social and political power to ensure all constituents and their needs are addressed. As years go by, there are illustrations of housing and employment inequity, and this is important to me as I've witnessed how the lack of representation with similar values has led to personal agendas being the focal point rather than the needs of the community. Our mission is to ensure that access and resources are provided to demographics who are often overlooked. We strive for the inclusion of individual agency coupled with collective drive towards equity. So often Black and Brown voices are often overlooked, and I'm here today to show you that using your voice and experience is vital to the evolution of the political realm into a space for all and not only the elite. Redistricting is important as we see how it has the possibility to further advance us or deter us from social advancement and equity. And not only does this process connect us to the community with those who will serve and be a voice, but also the nature of the potential policies and focal points politically. So understanding the importance of this redistricting allows one to envision a future filled with equality, a rare experience that is felt by Black and Brown constituents in these areas. At the core of those who are selected to formulate and implement various laws and regulations is this process. So there must be an understanding that at the core of this process is that those doing the selecting of these individuals will hold the futures of numerous citizens ranging from birth to seniority. In order to create an environment leading to fairness, power, and agency should be given back to the constituents. It is essential It is essential that we continue to speak out against the processes that have continued to deter Black political power. And there are many areas that have continued to decline as the communal needs lacked importance for those in power. So growing up, I was able to witness the many communities of color and their plethora of livelihood, while today their representation continues to decline as many minority-owned businesses continue to dissipate due to the public policy created by those lacking similar communal interests. So we must understand that we must speak out against the processes that have continued to deter this Black political power and uphold systemic racism in various institutional settings. We must protect the agency of community and ensure that their experiences and voices are heard and comprehended in order to fix or mend the issues that are faced by my community in addition to other regions,
30
respectively. We must not limit the power and the voice of those facing the consequences. If someone is going to be vouching for the community, it is only right that their mission is representative to the people it will be affecting. This redistricting will play a major role in determining the destiny of not only individuals, but the collective agency of the community and their respective environments. It is our job to ensure that racial minorities and their respective voices and experiences are not diluted nor glanced over. Therefore, these inland communities shall be grouped to ensure their values are reflected through their governmental representation. Thank you for your time and have a great evening.
Thank you so much. For those in the queue that have made appointments this evening, which would be caller with the last 42398, unique ID 044, caller 5211032, caller 5612, unique ID 035, caller 6171, unique ID 042, unique ID 016, unique ID 028. For those that have called in, if you could please press star 9 on your telephone keypad, indicating you wish to give comment this evening. And for those that have joined via Zoom, if you could use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen, indicating you wish to give comment. And Margarita, if I could have translation to press star 9 to raise your hand, indicating you wish to give comment. Or Johanna.
This is Joanna, the interpreter. Yes. Si desea dar un comentario, por favor, oprima el asterisco 9.
Perfect.
Para poder levantar la mano.
They raise their hand. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
At this time, we will be going to unique ID 016, and then up next after that will be caller 6171, unique ID 042. Unique ID 016, I will be promoting you now. Unique ID 016, your speaker order number will be number 24, if you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. You are unmuted. Can you hear me? We can see you. We just can't hear you. Unique ID 016, you are unmuted. Now you are not unmuted. You can check your microphone options under audio settings in the lower left corner of your screen. And just make sure your microphone is set to the microphone that you want to be using. And then if you'll unmute again. You are unmuted again. Can you hear me? You want to try the different microphone options. I just click them all till they work. At this time, I will have to go on to the next caller, unless, oh, wait.
Test 1, 2. How
There
about now?
you are. I hear
Hey,
ya.
I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
I've been battling a computer issue all afternoon, and my apologies for running late.
That's okay, no problem. Your speaker order number will be number 25, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And then if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Very good. Thank you very much. My name is Ben Benoit, and I live in the city of Wildomar. And the city of Wildomar is uniquely placed almost in the center of Southwest Riverside, or what I like to refer to as sort of the Southwest Riverside part of the Riverside County. Yep, right down there. And one thing that we've seen in the past with some districts was where different cities in our area get sort of combined with either a San Diego County district or a Orange County district. And what I would really like to push forward is just to make sure that we keep the Southwest Riverside cities together, all the way from the Temescal Valley, Lake Elsinore, Lakeland Village, Wildomar, Temecula, Marietta, all the way down Menifee, and then also we usually include Hemet and that area as well. And if there is to be a larger Senate district, I think that the one that currently serves sort of our part of the county as well as parts of the Coachella Valley does work rather well. And I do happily appreciate how that sort of connects those two areas, because I grew up in the Coachella Valley and then moved out to the city of Wildomar. So it's an area that to me makes sense. It's sort of combines rather well if there has to be a larger Senate district, although I know the population growth in this area has been quite large. So I'm not sure if there'll be a change in that. But just the biggest thing is just to make sure, please, that we keep that Southwest Riverside area from being sort of sucked into either San Diego or Orange County. I don't think that serves us quite as well as being part of Riverside County and keeping Riverside County together. So I just want to make sure I got that comment in, and I really appreciate your patience tonight, and my apologies for not having my computer up and running earlier.
Not a problem, but your speaker order number is actually 24, if you could please make note of that. That was my bad. Thank you so much. Right now, we will be going to caller 6171, unique ID 042. And then up next after that will be caller 5211, unique ID 032. Caller 6171, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 6171, your speaker order number will be number 25, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Mariela, and I would like to discuss Moreno Valley, Riverside, and Terrace.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Like I said, my name is Mariela, and I'm from Riverside County. I was born and raised in Moreno Valley, California, and lived there all my life. Went to some school there, and my surrounding communities of interest are Terrace and Riverside. I work currently in Terrace, and I have done some schooling in Terrace as well. I have family and friends from all three cities. Riverside, I did my high schooling there. A lot of cultural activities and different community events, efforts that have gone on within these cities are very important. I've seen the cities mentioned grown culturally, thriving and growth economically. So I believe that we together are very united in different ways, shapes, and forms. And I would like to continue seeing these cities united throughout the districting. So I hope this is taken into consideration, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. If I could please ask for the Spanish interpreter. Oh, actually, they already rose their hand. Huh? For those that have joined us with appointments this evening, if you could please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the comment queue line. 028 and 023. Right now we'll be going to caller 5211, unique ID 032. And then up next after that will be caller 2398, unique ID 044. Caller 5211. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 5211, your speaker order number will be number 26. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. My name is Montserrat Gomez, and I am a resident of Terrace, California. And I'd like to discuss Terrace, Riverside, and Moreno Valley, these neighboring cities for today.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So, as I mentioned before, I am a Terrace resident. I moved out to Terrace during my last years of high school, and I am currently now attending my third year of college. And in that short time that I have lived here, I've been able to explore and learn about what the cities have to provide for myself, my neighborhood, my neighbors, and my family. In Terrace and in Moreno Valley and in Riverside, I have found community which share my cultural diversity, and they also share many events and many resources for our neighboring communities and ourselves. In that time that I've been here, I've gone to school in those different cities. I graduated from a school in Paris, and then I continued going to Moreno Valley College. Moreno Valley College and the Riverside community colleges have programs in which students are able to commute and go to the colleges to attend different classes. So they are connected in many forms through education and as well as representation for members of the Hispanic and Latino community and even the Black community. There's many programs within the schools that have been able to give resources during the hard times during the pandemic, and our communities continue to thrive together. For this same reason, I ask that these communities stay together and throughout redistricting, because we have grown and continue to grow together. These resources are able to be shared within these communities time and time again. And for that, I am thankful. And for that, I wish that these communities continue growing together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now will be caller 2398, unique ID 044, and then up next after that will be caller 5612, unique ID 035. Caller 2398, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Again, caller 2398. If you will please press *6 to unmute at this time. And one last time, caller 2398. Will you please press *6 to unmute at this time? There appears to be a little bit of connectivity issue. We will come back to you. At this time, we will go to caller 5612, unique ID 035, and if I could ask for a Spanish interpreter. Caller 5612, if you will please press *6 to unmute at this time.
Llamada con los últimos 4 números, 5612, si puede por favor oprimir, asterisco 6 para activar su micrófono, por favor.
Perfect. Caller 5612, your speaker order number will be number 27, if you will please make note of that. And if you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours, and the Spanish interpreter is here for you.
Llamada 5612, su número de orador es número 27, si puede anotarlo para referencia en el futuro. Si puede avisar al cartógrafo qué área le gusta mencionar hoy día, y aquí está la intérprete en español. Solo quería darle un poco de indicaciones antes de comenzar. La interpretación es de español al inglés, es de forma consecutiva, así que por favor hable en frases cortas y cada vez que haga una pausa, yo le interpretaré o tal vez le interrumpa y le pida que haga una pausa. Usted tendrá 6 minutos en lugar de 3. Adelante.
Sí, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Bárbara Acosta. Yo abogo porque Terrace, Moreno Valley y Riverside se mantengan unidos.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Barbara Acosta, and I am advocating for Paris, Moreno Valley, and for Riverside to remain united.
Porque yo trabajo en la ciudad de Terrace, estudio en Riverside y hago mis compras en Moreno Valley.
Because I work in the city of Paris, I go to school in Riverside, and I do my shopping in Moreno Valley.
Y le pido de favor que una vez más, por favor, no los mantengan unidos. Mantengan unidos a Terrace, Riverside y Moreno Valley.
And I ask you for this favor to please, again, for this favor to keep us united. United in Paris, Moreno Valley, and Riverside.
Muchas gracias y buenas tardes.
Thank you so much and have a good evening.
Thank you so much. If the Spanish interpreter could just stay on, we'll be going to unique ID 023, who has also requested interpretation services. I will be promoting them now. All right, we will be doing the audio only option this time.
Vamos a activar la opción para audio únicamente.
If you could please use the unmute at the lower left corner of your screen.
Si puede activar su micrófono, hacerle clic en unmute o quitarse de silencio en la parte inferior izquierda de su pantalla.
They had lowered their hand, so maybe they had raised it and then they had lowered it. So we will come back to them. So we let them, oh wait, nope, hold on. They are unmuted.
Sí, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. Your speaker order number is number 28. If you will please make note of that. And if you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hola, su número de orador es el número 28, si puede por favor anotarlo para referencia en el futuro, y si puede avisarle por favor al cartógrafo qué área en el mapa le gusta a usted mencionar. Soy la intérprete, solo le voy a dar unas breves instrucciones. La interpretación del español al inglés es consecutiva, así que por favor hable en frases cortas y cada vez que haga una pausa yo le voy a interpretar o tal vez le interrumpa y le pida que haga una pausa. Usted tendrá 6 minutos en lugar de 3. Adelante.
Sí, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Elizabeth León y las entidades de interés para mí son Riverside, Moreno Valley y Jurupa Valley. Estas ciudades son de interés para mí porque ahí es donde vivo en Riverside. Mi hija va a UCR y porque en esas ciudades es donde tenemos, tenemos mucho en común con la comunidad. Es a donde vamos a la iglesia, a los lugares de recreación, es donde está nuestro trabajo y donde participamos también con la comunidad. Y para nosotros es de mucho interés que esto se mantenga unido porque hemos crecido mucho como comunidad y queremos seguir en ese mismo camino de desarrollo. Entonces esperamos que nos mantengan así como estamos ahorita porque hemos enriquecido mucho a la comunidad. Y bueno, pues buenas tardes, ese es mi punto.
Good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Leon, and my communities of interest are Riverside, Moreno Valley, and Jurupa Valley. And it's an interest to me because I live in Riverside and my daughter attends UCI. And these communities, we share a lot of things in common. We go to the same church, we attend the same recreational spaces. I work there, we work there, and we have a lot of things in common. We participate with a lot of things, similar things with the community. And I am very interested in these communities to remain united because we are growing as a community and we want to continue developing that growth. We want to stay together and continue enriching our community. That's all I wanted to say. Have a great afternoon. That was my point.
Thank you so much. Now we will be going to caller 2398, unique ID 044. And then up next after that will be unique ID 028. Caller 2398, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 2398, unique ID 044. If you will please press *6 to unmute at this time. Caller 2398. If you will please press *6 to unmute at this time. There you are.
Hi, yeah.
Hi.
Hello, my name is Christopher. Hi,
Perfect.
I'm calling from the city of Untitled Valley.
Perfect. Can I just a couple of instructions? Your speaker order number will be number 29, if you'll please make note of that. And you've already let the mapper know. The floor is yours.
Yeah, okay, cool thing. I'm sorry about that. My name is Christopher. I'm calling from the city of Moreno Valley. Just calling to inform that they should definitely consider keeping the cities, Riverside, Moreno Valley, and Terrace intact. I work in Terrace. I've been to both Moreno Valley and Riverside community colleges. The public transportation also is very, to keep them intact is very crucial to getting around in those cities, especially for students that need to take classes on both campuses. The public transportation should be intact as well and then also we need to have, I think we're on our way to have the representation we're kind of getting as far as a representation of a population in our area as well. So I think it's just important to keep the cities intact.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will be going to unique ID 028. And then I'd like to invite those that have called in this evening to please press *9 on their telephone keypad to raise their hand indicating they wish to give comment. At this time, we will be going to 028. And then up next after that will be caller 3800. Unique ID 028, I will be promoting you now. 028, your speaker order number will be number 30. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I would like to discuss the city of Coachella, which surrounds the area of the Eastern Valley in the Riverside County for today.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I would like to say that I have lived practically in Coachella for 19 years. My community is located in a rural area, and the majority of the community are minorities, and they work in the agriculture field. I would like these communities to stay united as we are growing together, and we're focusing on the challenges that we face as a community. We also have several events that take place in these communities that bring us to unite. And I would like to say that I would really appreciate if they could stay together as we continue to grow. I hope you take this into consideration. Thank you for your time.
Caller, before you leave, if you could help us understand which communities you're referring to, either by specific community names, cities. You're muted.
Yes, I would like to focus with Coachella, Therma, and Mecca. Those are the communities I want them to stay together.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right now, we will be going to caller 3800, and then up next after that will be caller 8044. Caller 3800, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 3800, your speaker order number will be 31. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello, and thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Michael, and I'm calling about Grand Terrace.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
So Grand Terrace is a small city, about 13,000 people, located on the I-215 corridor between Riverside and San Bernardino. Grand Terrace is located next to San Bernardino, and the last commission mistakenly put the two cities in the same districts in its legislative plans. San Bernardino is much more like Colton, where Grand Terrace is much more like Redlands. The city of San Bernardino has over 200,000 residents. 51% of these homes have someone who speaks a language other than English. 51% of the Colton homes have a person who speaks a language other than English, where less than half of the city of Grand Terrace has someone who speaks another language other than English. The fact is that Grand Terrace is more like Loma Linda and Redlands, along with housing values comparable in those cities, and the communities are more diverse. Once again, San Bernardino City is much more like Colton. Please help get Grand Terrace into districts with cities like Redlands and Loma Linda, so that representatives focus on communities that share the same traits. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have caller 8044. And then up next after that will be caller 0495. Caller 8044, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 8044, your speaker order number will be number 32. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you'd like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kesha Collier. I'm a resident of the High Desert region, in specific the city of Victorville. And many of the cities in our area community of interest would be Victorville, Apple Valley, and all the surrounding cities in that high desert region, where we've been advocating for years on multiple issues, health equity, affordable housing. Just recently, one of the things that we advocated for has started to come to fruition. There is supposed to be a new hospital being built in the high desert region. Kaiser and St. Mary's partnering together to build this hospital. My concern is to ensure that when this hospital is built, that the hospital, along with the surrounding communities that it will serve, which would include Victorville and surrounding cities, are kept together because they have the shared interest. One is the health equity, and as I mentioned, affordable housing and food security as well. So thank you. Thank you for creating this space, and thank you for allowing me the time to share.
Thank you so much. This time we will go to caller 0495. And up next after that will be caller 4726. And again, I'd like to invite those that have called in to please press *9 to raise your hand, indicating you wish to give comment. That is *9 to raise your hand, indicating you wish to give comment. In fact, if I could have an interpreter, please share those instructions as well.
Si los hispanohablantes que deseen dar comentario pueden oprimir el asterisco y 9 para alzar la mano para indicar que gusta dar comentario. De nuevo es el asterisco 9 o estrellita 9. Una vez que se ha conectado, entonces oprimirá el asterisco 6 para poder activar su micrófono. Gracias.
Thank you so much. Right now we will go to caller 0495, and then up next will be caller 4726. Caller 0495, if you could please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 0495, your speaker order number will be number 33. If you'll please make note of that for future reference, and if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello, good evening, commissioners. Can you hear me?
We sure can.
Thank you. I thank you very much for the opportunity to present my community and requesting to draw the lines with Assembly District 67. My name is Martha Howard, and I'm with the Latina Association of Riverside County in partnership with LULAC and Aleo Educational Fund. I am a retired military spouse, and I have lived in Temecula for 27 years. The boundaries in my community are Data Street to the north that borders with Murrieta. On the south is Temecula Parkway, borders with San Diego at the Rainbow Creek Point. Winchester Road to the east borders with the city of Winchester, and Jefferson Street next to the Santa Rosa and the Santa Margarita Plateau to the west. Currently, Temecula is under Assembly District 75, and 3/4 of this district belongs to San Diego County. When drawing the new boundaries, please keep in mind that our community of interest does not share the same economy nor industries with the cities of San Diego, but rather our cities of Murrieta, Menifee, Wildomar, Hemet, Lake Elsinore, amongst others on Assembly District 67, to share our community of interest with them. And the reason is that we attend common shopping centers, medical facilities, sport parks, and entertainment areas with Temecula. There is absolutely nothing in our daily life that connects us, our socioeconomic interests with Escondido, San Marcos, Ponsal, Fallbrook, Valley Center, and San Diego County. Our main economies are service providing with emphasis in retailing and tourism. During the spring, a yearly balloon and wine festival takes place at Wine Country in Temecula, thus providing a substantial revenue to our community. It does not make sense to have a community in my neighborhood with its boundaries attached to San Diego County, because we do not share similarities as previously mentioned. I thank you for your time, and please keep my community with Assembly District 67 instead of Assembly District 75. Thank you so much for everything you do. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Up next will be caller 4726. I'd like to invite those that have called in to please press *9 to raise your hand indicating you wish to give comment. But at this time, we will go to caller 4726. Caller 4726, if you will press *6 to unmute at this time. Caller with the last 4726. Oh, there you are. Your speaker order number will be number 34, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Please pull up the following cities: Chino, Chino Hills, Diamond Bar, Walnut, and Rowland Heights.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
So I'm calling from City of Chino. I'm requesting that you retain my city within its current district lines and not group it with Chino Hills. I have much respect for my neighbors to the west, but just because we're both named Chino does not mean that we are the same. In fact, we are quite different. For example, based on recent ACS data, Chino Hills residents are much wealthier than we are. The median family income on the Hills is $100,327, which is 44% higher than residents here in the Valley, whose median income is closer to $70K. Chino Hills and its neighboring communities, Diamond Bar, Walnut, and Rowland Heights, are predominantly API communities, while Chino, Pomona, Mount Clair, and Ontario are predominantly Latino communities, with the majority being blue collar. While we may share the same school district, our children have different needs when it comes to dealing with English as a first language, access to tutors, and pathways to higher ed based on income and cultural pressures. Both cities need to be in districts and have legislative leaders that can speak to their unique concerns and issues, and that can relate to differing cultural issues and concerns. Thank you for your hard work.
Thank you so much. Right now, we'll be going to caller 2829. And then up next after that will be caller 6562. Caller 2829, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 2829, if you will press *6 at this time to unmute. Caller 2829, your speaker order number will be number 35, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yeah, the area I'd like to discuss is all of Imperial County and eastern Riverside County, which is the Coachella Valley, all the way to the Arizona border, including Blythe. I live in the city of Raleigh. I work in the entire county of Imperial and have worked for many years with the communities in the Coachella Valley. That we have a lot in common. There are cities that are very poor, cities that are much wealthier. We have a very common demographic, and including highly Hispanic and Spanish speakers only. We share a corridor for transportation along Highway 86, which connects Interstate 8 and Interstate 10. And this has been considered a very important corridor for transportation of cargo. And a lot of the jobs surrounding are dependent on that corridor. In addition to that, we have quite a bit of agriculture in the Coachella Valley and in Blythe, Palo Verde Valley in Imperial County. And so that's one thing that's very common to all of us. One of the major issues in our county is the Salton Sea, which affects Riverside County and Imperial County. It's something that we need to work on together. Majority of our water, almost all of our water, comes from a single source, which is the Colorado River, which feeds the Palo Verde Valley, Imperial County, and the Coachella Valley. In addition to that, one of the things that's very important to us is our relationship with Mexico and the border. And we think the representation of representative that services the Imperial County and Coachella Valley is very important. In addition to that, I think statewide, it's very important that we have multiple representatives representing the border region because the San Diego and Imperial County are so diverse. And currently we just have one senator and one congressman that represent the entire border region. Texas has, I think it's as many as half a dozen or more representatives that represent the border. And so it's very difficult for us to represent that area. So these are the reasons that I think that Coachella Valley and Imperial County should be linked together and have a representation, as well as the Palo Verde Valley. And that would be much better served with a representative serving both areas and focusing on the health issues, air quality issues, transportation issues, and the high rate of poverty in much of our region. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have caller 6562. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 6562, if you'll please press *6 to unmute. Caller 6562, your speaker order number will be number 36. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Jelena, and I'm calling you from Yucca Valley in the Morongo Basin. We are a gateway community to the Joshua Tree National Park, and we are a high desert community. Besides the fact that our local newspaper is called the High Desert Star, we have common cause with other high desert communities, which is why I wanted to ask the Commission to keep us with the San Bernardino County high desert communities. Like the rest of the high desert, we rely on water from the ground, and unlike areas like the Coachella Valley, which has an abundance of water, we're always trying to conserve this precious resource, irrespective of drought conditions in the rest of the state. That is why you won't see many lawns here in the Morongo Basin, but Coachella has large green spaces. Also, unlike folks down the hill, our air quality is generally cleaner, although we have concerns over high winds kicking up dust and particulates. That is why we share an air quality management district with the rest of the high desert and not most more urban areas. Also, we have a strong connection to the military and veterans because of our military base and 29 Palms, something we share with a number of high desert communities like Barstow and Victorville. Please don't dilute the voice of our rural residents by putting us in districts down the hill or in areas that don't share our concerns. Keep our high desert communities together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Up next will be caller 1582. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 1582, your speaker order number will be number 37. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Angelina, and I live in Alta Loma. Alta Loma is the north and west portion of Rancho Cucamonga. We are a unique foothill community that runs across the San Gabriel Mountains. Our community has its own school district, the Alta Loma School District. When businesses register, they are able to use either Alta Loma or Rancho Cucamonga on official documents like business permits. And we have our own post office and zip code. If you send a letter addressed to Alta Loma instead of Rancho Cucamonga, the mail will be delivered. I wanted to call today because I want to make sure our community is kept out of any district based in Los Angeles community. Right now, we are in an assembly district that is based in Pasadena, and I feel that we are often overlooked or forgotten because of that. That is why I want the commission to keep our community with other San Bernardino County communities, and given the history of Alta Loma, which used to be farmland. And given our concern, our forest management and wildfires, I request you keep us with other communities that share our issues and concerns. These communities might include mountain communities like Wrightwood, or other rural foothill communities like San Antonio Heights or Yucaipa, or other rural areas like the high desert. I appreciate the work you are doing and appreciate being given the opportunity to talk about my community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Up next will be caller 3076. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 3076, your speaker order number will be number 38. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Okay. Hi, my name is Brian, and Hi, my name is Brian. My cities of interest are Paris, Riverside, and Moreno Valley.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
As I said, my name is Brian. I am a resident in the city of Paris, and I have lived my whole life in the city of Paris. My family and friends have lived here for so long, and I currently go to high school and plan on going to college in one of the cities local, because it makes me feel like I'm in home because of all the Latino culture. Please don't separate our cities. Thank you. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.
Thank you so much. Up next will be caller 3598. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 3598, your speaker order number will be number 39. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. Caller 3598, can you hear me? You are unmuted. Is your phone on mute? That was an issue earlier.
Hello, can you hear me?
Now we can. The floor is yours.
My name is Brandon. I'll be focusing on the cities of Eastern Coachella Valley, such as Coachella, Thermal, and Neco, sorry.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
All right. As I said, my name is Brandon Tepila. I'm part of the Council of Mexican Federation, also known as COFEM. Thank you for allowing me to testify. I lived in Coachella Valley for about 20 years, Palm Springs, to be specific, for about 10. I work as a server in a restaurant in Palm Springs, and I intern at COFEM in Coachella. One of the things I have witnessed in the most in my community as I commute through the valley is the difference between the Eastern Coachella Valley and the western part. The Eastern Coachella Valley includes Coachella, Indio, Thermal, and North Shore. They're predominantly communities of mixed status families and farm workers, undocumented essential workers, and Latinx families. The Coachella Valley is all connected via the I-10 freeway and Highway 111. Traveling via any of these roads will show you the differences in scenery in terms of how the cities are kept. Now that the state is slowly opening back up after the pandemic, and even before the pandemic, we are seeing that a lot of Eastern Coachella Valley families are lacking resources and unstable living conditions compared to some of the other cities like Palm Desert and Palm Springs. When drawing the lines for the redistricting, I'd like for the Eastern Coachella Valley to stay together due to common issues they face. I believe this would mean more inclusion in resources that the Eastern Coachella Valley needs post-pandemic, and considering that it is populated by so many essential workers that are able to bring fresh food to our tables. These resources would help them receive health care and better living situations. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. I'd like to invite those that have just called in to please press star 9 on your telephone keypad if you wish to give comment this evening. This will raise your hand. Right now, we'll go to caller 8971. And up next after that will be caller 8059. Caller 8971, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing star 6. Caller 8971. Hello. Your speaker order number will be number 40. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to address you today about this important issue. My name is Jared, and I'm from Barstow. We're a small city in the high desert. Most people think of us as a place to stop in on the way from Vegas, and those tourist dollars are important to us. We also are home to the Marine Logistics Base, Veterans Home, and are close to Fort Irwin. These facilities all provide our community with jobs and have led us to having a large veterans population here. So that's why I wanted to ask the commission to keep our community with other high desert communities like us. Obviously, we share a major transit route in Highway 15 with Victor Valley, but we also share a common transit authority. We share a water agency that oversees our water, and we share an air quality management district. Also, the fact that the Victor Valley once had George Air Force Base means, like us, they have a large veterans population. And then the Morongo Basin has a similar economy as ours. We both have military bases. They have the base in 29 Palms. They provide high-paying jobs to the community. And like us, they have an important tourist economy from the national park. And like the Victor Valley, we share a water agency that oversees our water, and we share an air quality management district. So please keep our high desert communities together and ensure that we have a voice and are not drowned out by the other population centers. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now, we'll be going to caller 8059, and up next after that will be caller 6433. Caller 8059, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing star 6. Once again, caller 8059, if you'll please press star 6 at this time to unmute. Caller 8059, your speaker order number will be number 41. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Sí, por favor en español.
Un momento, por favor.
Gracias.
This is the interpreter.
Thank you.
Sí.
You want me to give her the
your speaker, yeah, I'm sorry. Your speaker order number is number 41. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss. The floor is yours.
Su número de orador es el número 41. Si puede, por favor, anotarlo para referencia en el futuro. Y si puede, por favor, avisarle al cartógrafo qué área gusta mencionar. Y solo le voy a dar unas breves instrucciones. Yo soy la intérprete. La interpretación de español al inglés es consecutiva. Así que, por favor, hable en frases cortas. Y cada vez que haga una pausa, yo lo voy a interpretar o tal vez le interrumpa y le pida que haga una pausa. Usted tendrá 6 minutos en lugar de 3. Adelante.
Ok. Yo me voy a enfocar en la ciudad de Coachella y de las ciudades del Valle Este.
I'm going to focus on the city of Coachella and the East Valley area.
Gracias por darme la oportunidad de testificar hoy. Mi nombre es Imelda Castro de Ortiz.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to testify today. My name is Imelda Castro de Ortiz.
Y soy promotor cívico de la organización COFEN.
I am a civic promoter of the organization. Perdón, ¿puede repetir el nombre de la organización?
COFEN. Consejo de Federaciones Mexicanas.
COPEN organization. It's the Council for the Mexican, para la mexicana, perdón.
Consejo de Federaciones Mexicanas de
The
Norteamérica.
Mexican Federation Council in North America.
He vivido en el área de Coachella durante 18 años y tengo 3 hijos y han estudiado en este valle.
I have lived in Coachella for 18 years and I have 3 children who have studied in this valley.
Yo trabajo de housekeeping y en mi comunidad hay mucha gente latina inmigrante que trabaja en el campo, en la construcción, en el jardín y en las kepi, etc.
I work as a housekeeper, and in my community, there are a lot of people who are Latin immigrants who work in the fields, who work in construction, who work in gardening and landscaping, etc.
Y no hemos tenido los mismos recursos como los ciudadanos americanos y los residentes. Me refiero como el medical completo, escuelas en buenas condiciones, las ayudas financieras que ha otorgado el gobierno por lo del COVID-19.
And we have not had the same resources as the American communities, like those who are citizens or residents, such as full medical, full Medi-Cal, or a good education, or the resources that the government has provided, like the help due to COVID.
Además, mi comunidad también necesita un hospital general con todos los servicios cerca de nosotros, ya
Plus,
que los más cercanos. Sí.
Plus, my community needs a hospital, a general hospital that would provide all services. Perdón.
Sí. Ya que los más cercanos son el de Moreno Valley y Loma Linda. Mi comunidad también merece un trato justo.
Since the closest ones are in Moreno Valley and in Loma Linda, my community also deserves to be treated fairly.
Me gustaría que cuando tracen los distritos nuevos, me gustaría que la comisión mantuviera junta a mi comunidad del Valle Este de Coachella, que incluye Thermal, Meca, North Shore, Coachella, Oasis e Indio.
I would like for the commission, when they draw the new district lines, to maintain my community in the East Valley together. That would include Coachella, Thermal, Mecca, North Shore, Oasis, and Indio.
Y así seguir manteniendo nuestra cultura.
This way we can continue maintaining or keeping our culture.
De antemano les doy las gracias por escucharme.
Thank you in advance.
Tomar en cuenta mi opinión.
Thank you in advance for hearing me and taking my opinion into consideration.
Gracias.
Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will be going to caller 6433, and then up next after that will be caller 1007. I'd also like to again invite those that have just called in to please press *9 to raise your hand and get in the comment queue line. Caller 6433, your speaker order number will be number 42, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me?
We sure can.
Great. Well, thank you for taking my testimony. My name is Ian Harvey, and I'm calling about Alta Loma, which is north and west part of Rancho Cucamonga. I grew up here, and my family still lives here today. And well, I currently work as a home builder, and I've built projects throughout the Inland Empire. In my job, I have to figure out the unique DNA of each community I build in. A lot of folks don't realize, but when Rancho Cucamonga incorporated it, brought together 3 distinct communities: Alta Loma in the west, Redistricting in the east, and Cucamonga in the south. South Rancho Cucamonga, basically everything below baseline is much more urban, with higher density apartments and more industrial parks. Each community still largely refers to itself by its old name and has its own school district: Alta Loma School District, Redistricting School District, etc. Now, the post office will deliver mail sent to Alta Loma or Redistricting. But I want to talk about Alta Loma because It's a unique area. It's much more rural than most areas or other parts of the city. We have larger lot sizes and fewer sidewalks. We have a number of equestrian trails and parks are generating much less dense development. The folks here also have unique concerns because we interface with the environment more because of our proximity to the mountains and wildlands. Wildfires are a major concern for us because of this issue, which is not true of many other areas or even in our own city. The last commission put Alta Loma into an assembly district with Pasadena, and politicians before have drawn us into districts primarily based in Los Angeles, and I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. I don't see how anyone could see that that's right. Our community is distinctly rural and San Bernardino County, and we would like to be with rural San Bernardino County communities because that's our makeup. That's who we are. And looking around communities like San Antonio Heights, North Upland, Yucaipa, another rural foothill community, and rural communities in the mountains and high desert share our concerns with wildfires and management of public lands and share our rural interests. And I would request to be in a district with them rather than Los Angeles or with more urban and developed communities like Ontario or Fontana. Thank you so much for your time. And that is all.
Caller, could I ask you, if you can, to give us some street boundaries for Alta Loma? Where do you consider Alta Loma?
You kind of cut out a little bit. Can you say that again?
Could you give us some boundaries, maybe some street or freeway boundaries for what you consider Alta Loma?
Yeah, everything north of the 210 and west of Haven Avenue.
And that's within Rancho Cucamonga, correct? What is now known as Rancho Cucamonga.
Technically speaking, yes.
Got it. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Right now, we'll be going to caller 1007, and then up next after that will be caller 6225. Caller 1007, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 1007, your speaker order number will be number 43, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so my name's Michael Enriquez. I am calling from the city of San Bernardino. I'm slightly concerned because the cities of Rialto, Colton, and my city of San Bernardino we're essentially very similar. I mean, all of our demographics are made up almost the same. We all fit in between the 210 and the 10 freeways, but currently our state Senate district has us separate. It just really doesn't make sense to me why we would ignore these already made barriers and landmarks that would easily split us into one Senate district. But on top of that, in terms of the Senate seat, the region south and west of the 210, east of the 5th Street and north of San Bernardino City Airport, it's heavily Latino. It belongs with Rialto and Colton, but for some reason, the last commission put the state Senate seat in the stretches up to Big Bear and down to Hen. It really needs to be fixed. Also, a city like Grand Terrace, which is far lower concentration of Latinos, fewer renters, and it's more like Redlands than Colton, just doesn't belong in the district that is Rialto and most of the city of San Bernardino. Finally, the city of Chino, which has far lower Latino percentage households that cost $200,000 more than the city of SDE 20, it's the same district. Chino is far higher incomes and very different concerns than the cities of San Bernardino, Rialto, Colton, or Fontana. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will have caller 6225, and then up next after that will be caller 7739. Caller 6225, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 6225, your speaker order number will be number 44. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hello, I hope you guys are all doing well. My name is Desiree. I am calling from Ukipa. Me and my family and I, we are equestrians and we participate in a rodeo that we have in town and the towns across the Inland Empire. Rodeos, they can provide an economic boost to other communities that host them. By bringing in the tourism and the boost in dollars and jobs, we also share a similar cowgirl culture. We have a respect for the animals that we take care of, and we are more rugged and have a sense of patriotism and values. We just wanted to call in today to ask the committee to treat the little rodeo towns like Yucaipa as a community of interest. Having been all around the Inland Empire, I know there are other towns with a similar culture that we could be distracted with as well. So communities like Yucca Valley, Apple Valley, and Hesperia all have equestrian centers where people can take care of the animals. But each one of the towns also host a rodeo, as well as Barstow, Big Bear, and Needles. All of these communities are generally more rural than other areas of the Inland Empire, and I think they do deserve to be with similar areas and not lumped together with big urban areas that don't share their culture. Thank you for taking the time to hear my concerns.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will be going to caller 7739. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 7739, your speaker order number will be number 45. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Oh, hi. Good afternoon. We're High Desert. And, my name is Melina Chavez, and I have lived here in the High Desert for over 20 years. My family and I moved up here to get away from the urban places and to enjoy the router life of here. It's a good life here, And I currently, I live in the incorporated part of Apple Valley, just out of the town of Bandry, on the town of Bandry. I'm calling because I really want to urge the commissioners to keep our San Bernardino High Desert communities towards the right communities together, Right now, I live in the state Senate district that is based on, it's in Bakersfield. Well, it's just a couple of blocks from here, from the incorporated town of Apple Valley and city of Hesperia. My neighbors are represented by the state senator and district that is mostly in LA County. This is not fair. Our high desert is unique and special place. Our needs are much different than the population centers of the Senate district we are in, and we are not in agriculture area like Bakersfield and we don't have like the huge water resource, like in LA does. We are rely on the groundwaters and have to manage our waters regularly, and also whether or not we're in drought, and regularly, the weather and is the Victor Valley, the Morongo bases, the entire high desert shares that concern about the water. We're all concerned about that. And also, I think that if commissions need to add communities that there are other like San Bernardino County communities like will be more appropriate to put us with communities like Lake Arrowhead, like Wrightwood and Big Bear that will share important transitions occurring with us, or even those
30 seconds.
Rubber places. Well, thank you so much, for listening to me. Okay, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller 2657. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. And there you are. Caller 2657, your speaker order number will be number 46. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Buenas tardes.
Un momento, por favor.
Ya.
May I have an interpreter, please?
Yes.
Caller 2657, your speaker order number will be number 46. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the interpreter is here.
Para la llamada 2657, su número de orden de orador va a ser el número 46. Si por favor lo puede anotar para poder consultarlo en el futuro, se lo agradecería. Ahora, si le puede informar al cartógrafo de cuál área gustaría hablar, entonces adelante.
Okay,
Perdón, señor, y la intérprete tiene unas instrucciones para usted acerca de la interpretación. Okay. Si puede, la interpretación va a ser de manera consecutiva, así que si puede hablar en cortas frases, por favor, y después la intérprete interpretará después de cada 2 a 3 frases, y puede ser que la intérprete lo interrumpa si es que necesita interpretar. Si gusta empezar, adelante.
Ok, yo me voy a enfocar, buenas tardes, yo me voy a enfocar en el este del Valle de Coachella, como Terrace, Coachella, Indio, Mecca, Oasis, North Shore.
Un momento, por favor. Hello, good afternoon. I'm going to focus on the eastern side of Coachella Valley, like Thermal, Mecca, Oasis, North Shore, and ¿cuál fue la otra? ¿Dijo Indio?
Indio.
En Indio. Ok, adelante.
Comisionados, gracias por darme la oportunidad de testificar el día de hoy.
Commissioners, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be able to testify today. Adelante.
Mi nombre es Jorge Ortiz, soy promotor cívico de COFEN, Consejo de Federaciones Mexicanas en Norteamérica.
My name is Jorge Ortiz, and I am a promotor for the Mexican Federation Council. Adelante.
He vivido en el este del Valle de Coachella por más de 20 años.
I have lived in Eastern Coachella Valley for more than 20 years.
Nuestra comunidad son trabajadores esenciales como el campo, la construcción, la jardinería, la housekeeping, etcétera, etcétera.
Our community is made up of essential workers that include field workers, construction workers, gardeners, etcétera, and housekeepers.
Con esto de la pandemia hemos sufrido mucho porque los trabajos se han bajado y ha afectado más a la comunidad inmigrante.
Perdón, ¿ya qué a la comunidad inmigrante?
Le vuelvo a repetir la frase. Con esto de la pandemia hemos sufrido mucho porque los trabajos se han bajado y ha afectado más a la comunidad inmigrante.
With the pandemic, we have suffered a lot because the work has decreased and it has really affected the immigrant community.
Que no califican para muchas ayudas económicas, necesitamos que las comunidades se mantengan juntas como Oasis, Coachella, Mecca, Thermal, North Shore.
Because we do not qualify for a lot of financial support, and we need for the communities to be kept together. For example, Mecca, Oasis, Coachella, and North Shore.
Gracias por...
Sí.
Thank you.
Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And with that, we are up against a break, Chair.
All right, let's go to break. And when we return, we'll return in 15 minutes at 7:30 sharp, and I will be passing it back to my colleague, Commissioner Kennedy. Thank you.
Welcome back to today's California Citizens Redistricting Commission Communities of Interest Input Meeting. For anyone who has joined us recently, we are offering a language line for Spanish language speakers to listen to the meeting in that language, and a separate line for those who wish to provide public comment or public input. Could our Spanish interpreter please read the site translation of full call-in instructions?
You are on mute.
Sorry about that. Hi, Chair. This is Margarita, the Spanish interpreter. I will read the full call-in instructions. Para los hispanohablantes que deseen escuchar esta reunión en español, por favor marquen el número 888-566-1377. De nuevo, para escuchar esta reunión en español, ingresen el número de identificación, el 389-1010. De nuevo, el número de teléfono es el 888-566-1377. Y por favor ingresen el número de la reunión de identificación, que es 389-1010, para los hispanohablantes que deseen escuchar esta reunión en español. Aquellos que deseen dar comentario público, el número de teléfono es el 877-853-5247. De nuevo, el número de teléfono para dar sus comentarios públicos es el 877-853-5247. Usted va a necesitar ingresar el número 830-4657-8304. Usted va a necesitar marcar este nuevo número de teléfono para poder dar su comentario público. Si usted necesita un intérprete para dar su comentario público, se le proveerá una para usted cuando llame a este número. Si usted está llamando para dar su comentario público, por favor no cuelgue, si no perderá su lugar en la fila. Gracias. Thank you.
Gracias, Margarita. This session is specifically dedicated to those that did not have an appointment. However, if you did have an appointment and were unable to call in during your time block, we would encourage you to do so now. As a reminder, even though we are focusing on Riverside and San Bernardino counties this evening, Californians from anywhere in the state are welcome to provide input on their own community. We will continue to take public input at this time. We also invite general public comment. The phone line for both public input and public comment will close at 8 p.m. Having said that, we will get to all the callers who are in the queue at that time. We're happy to stay here after 8 p.m. if we are needed. So don't be shy, call in, stay on the line. Even after the lines close, we will be happy to take your call. I'll now pass this over to Katie, our comment moderator, who's been doing a fantastic job for us.
Thank you so much, Chair. In order to maximize transparency and public participation in our process, the Commissioners will be taking community of interest input and general public comment by phone. To call in, dial the telephone number provided on the live stream feed. It is 877-853-5247. When prompted, enter the meeting ID number provided on the live stream feed. It is 830-4657-8304 for this meeting. When prompted to enter a participant ID, simply press the pound key. Once you have dialed in, you will be placed in a queue. To indicate you wish to comment, please press *9. This will raise your hand for the moderator. When it is your turn to speak, you will hear a message that says, "The host would like you to talk," and to press *6 to speak. If you would like to give your name, please state and spell it for the record. You are not required to provide your name to give public comment. Please make sure to mute your computer or live stream audio to prevent any feedback or distortion during your call. Once you are waiting in the queue, be alert for when it is your turn to speak, and again, please turn down the live stream volume. And again, for all those that have called in, pressing star 9 on your telephone keypad will raise your hand and enter the comment queue line. So please press star 9 on your telephone keypad. We will start with caller 9240, and then up next after that will be caller 5554. Caller 9240, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing star 6. Caller 9240, your speaker order number will be number 47. If you will please make note of that for future reference, and if you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. Hello, can you hear me? Caller 9240. If you can hear me, I cannot hear you. Does your phone happen to be on mute? Oh. Let's try one more time. Caller 9240, if you will please press star 6 on your telephone keypad, this will unmute you one more time. Caller 9240, can you hear me? Make sure your phone is not on mute. You are unmuted in Zoom, but make sure your phone itself is not on mute, because we cannot hear you.
Oh, yeah.
There you are. I hear you.
Sí, ¿Speak Spanish?
Buenos noches.
Sí, buenas noches.
Interpreter?
Un momento.
Yeah.
Sí.
You said number 47, is that right?
Yes.
Ok. Su número de orden de orador es el número 47. Si por favor puede anotar este número para poder consultarlo en el futuro, se lo agradecería. Le voy a dar unas instrucciones para la interpretación de parte de la intérprete. Si por favor puede hablar de 2 a 3 frases a la vez, luego tome pausa y la intérprete le interpretará sus comentarios después de que termine de interpretar, puede seguir con sus comentarios con 2 a 3 frases a la vez y así vamos a continuar. De vez en cuando la intérprete tal vez le pida que tome pausa antes de que usted haya tomado la pausa. Puede seguir adelante con sus comentarios. Perdón, y si le puede indicar al cartógrafo de cuál área gusta hablar, luego puede seguir con sus comentarios.
Comisionados, gracias por darme la oportunidad de dar mi testimonio del día de hoy.
Commissioners, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be able to give my testimony today. Adelante.
Mi nombre es Javier Romero. Vivo en el valle del este de Coachella.
My name is Javier Romero and I live in the east side of Coachella Valley.
Me enfoco en las áreas de Terma, Meca, Indio, North Shore y Oasis.
I am focusing on the areas of Thermal, Mecca, Indio, North Shore, and Oasis.
Vivo por 22 años en el este del vecindario. Antes de la pandemia disfrutamos en mi familia, yo y todos mis hijos.
I've been living in the east side of the neighborhood for 22 years already. And before the pandemic, we were enjoying, my family and my children and I were enjoying ourselves in the area.
En los parques locales y de todos los programas recreativos y visitamos a menudo los monumentos nacionales de todo el este de la región.
We enjoyed the local parks, the local programs, recreation, and we would often visit the national monuments in the area.
Ya se está reabriendo, pero todo es limitado.
Everything is opening up again, but everything is limited.
Las personas que viven en mi comunidad tienen muchas cosas en común. Hablemos del mismo idioma que es el español y somos inmigrantes.
The people in my community have many things in common. We speak the same language and we are immigrants. Adelante.
Trabajamos haciendo trabajos de labor y somos promotores cívicos de las organizaciones de COFEN.
We work in labor work, and we are also promoters for civic work for COFEM, for the Council of Mexican Federations in North America. ¿Siga?
Soy parte de programas de la iglesia cerca de mi vecindario y me gustaría que la comisión mantuviera todo en mi comunidad.
I also participate in church programs in my neighborhood, and I would like for the commission to keep my community together.
Debido a que usemos los mismos parques de las mismas rutas de transporte y enfrentemos retos similares sobre nuestra comunidad y familia.
Due to the similar use of parks and transportation routes, and we also have the same challenges in our communities and families. ¿Siga?
Mencionando mis áreas de enfoque que son Coachella, Oasis, Indio, Terma, North Shore y muchas gracias.
So mentioning the areas that are of interest are Coachella, Oasis, Indio, Thermal, and North Shore. And thank you very much.
Gracias por la llamada.
Thank you.
Right now, we will have caller 5554. And then up next after that will be caller 8015. Caller 5554. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 5554, your speaker order number will be number 48. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. Caller 55. Interpreter?
Sí, por favor.
Un momento.
This is the interpreter.
Thank you so much. The speaker order number is number 48.
Hola, buenas tardes. Su número de orador es el número 48. Por favor, anótelo para consultarlo en el futuro. Si puede, por favor, avisarle al cartógrafo qué área gusta mencionar y solo le tengo unas instrucciones breves sobre la interpretación. Yo soy la intérprete, la interpretación del español al inglés es consecutiva, así que por favor hablen frases cortas y cada vez que haga una pausa, yo le interpretaré o tal vez le interrumpa y le pida que haga una pausa. Usted tendrá 6 minutos en lugar de 3. Si gusta mencionarle al cartógrafo qué áreas quería mencionar, adelante.
Sí. Mi enfoque es en el valle este de Coachella, en las áreas de Merca, Terma, North Shore, Oasis.
Yes, my focus areas are the east part of the Coachella Valley, and specifically the areas of Mecca, Thermal, North Shore, Oasis, and, perdón, la última que mencionó. Thermal, Mecca, North Shore, Oasis, ¿sí?
Y Indio.
And Indio. Adelante.
Comisionados, gracias por darme la oportunidad de dar mi testimonio hoy. Mi nombre es Silvia Romero.
Commissioners, thank you for giving me the opportunity to testify today. My name is Silvia Romero.
Vivo en el este del Valle de Coachella y mi enfoque es en las áreas de Mecca, Thermal, Oasis, North Shore
Indio.
I live in the eastern part of the Coachella Valley, and my areas of focus are Mecca, Thermal, Oasis, North Shore, and Indio. Adelante.
En una zona urbana, durante 22 años llevo viviendo en este vecindario. Soy madre de familia, tengo 3 hijos.
I have been living in this urban area for 22 years in this neighborhood. I am a mother of 3 children.
Trabajo en la jardinería. Aquí hay mucho trabajo de agricultura.
I work in
Muchos
gardening.
trabajadores.
I work in gardening. There's a lot of agricultural work. Adelante, ¿verdad?
Muchos trabajadores esenciales aquí en mi comunidad.
There are a lot of essential workers here in my community.
Hay mucha necesidad de vivienda accesible, que haya igualdad para todos.
There is a lot of need for affordable housing and for there to be equality for everyone.
Soy promotor cívico de la organización COFEN.
I am a civic promoter from the COFEM organization.
Y participo en los programas misioneros de la iglesia cerca de mi vecindario.
And I participate in the missionary programs at my church in my local neighborhood.
Hay necesidad de programas de salud aquí para todos.
There is a need for health programs for everyone here.
Conozco personas de diferentes organizaciones que viven en mi comunidad.
I know people from different organizations that live in my community.
Que tenemos muchas cosas en común. Me gustaría que la comisión mantenga junta a mi comunidad.
Who share a lot of things in common. I would like for the commission to maintain my community together.
De intereses comunes para que podamos seguir abogando por los problemas que enfrentamos juntos.
With the common interests so that we can continue advocating for the challenges that we have together, that we share together.
Son diferentes a otras ciudades del Valle de Coachella, como por ejemplo Rancho Mirage, Palm Springs.
We are different from the other communities in the Valley of Coachella, such as Rancho Mirage and Palm Springs.
Muchas gracias de antemano.
Thank you so much in advance. Gracias.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will be going to caller 8015, and then up next after that will be caller 6429. And I'd like to invite those that have called in to please press star 9 to raise your hand, indicating they wish to give comment. Caller 8015, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing star 6. Caller 8015, will you be needing an interpreter this evening?
Sí.
Un momento, por favor.
This is the interpreter.
Gracias. The speaker order number will be number 49, if you'll please make note of that. And the interpreter is here.
Su número de orador es el número 49. Si puede, por favor, anotarlo. Aquí está la intérprete. Soy la intérprete, solamente le voy a dar unas instrucciones breves sobre la interpretación. Es del español al inglés y es consecutiva. Así que, por favor, hable en frases cortas y cada vez que haga una pausa, yo le interpretaré o tal vez le interrumpa y le pida que haga una pausa. Usted tendrá 6 minutos en lugar de 3. Si puede, por favor, avisarle al cartógrafo qué área gusta mencionar hoy día. Adelante.
Sí, gracias. Gracias por darme la oportunidad de testificar el día de hoy. Mi nombre es Clara Herrera y soy promotor cívico de COFEN.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to testify today. My name is Clara Herrera, and I am a civic promoter of the organization COFEM.
Yo me enfoco en el valle este de Coachella, que abarca Mecca, North Shore, Oasis, Indio y el valle este de Coachella.
I am focusing on the eastern part of the Coachella Valley, which is formed by Mecca, North Shore, Oasis, Indio, and the eastern part of Coachella.
Tengo 3 hijos que han asistido a la misma escuela. Mis 3 hijos en Coachella. Las escuelas son Palmview, Bobby Doo y Civic High School.
I have 3 children who have attended the same schools in Coachella. Those schools are Palmview. ¿Cuál fue la segunda escuela, perdón?
Bobby Doo Middle School.
Bobby Lou Middle School. Y
Civic High School.
And Civic High School. Ya, adelante.
Estoy en este país desde el año 1995, donde he pasado y vivido todos estos años en esta misma localidad de Coachella.
I have been in this country since 1965, where I have lived in this same area of the Coachella Valley.
Este país me ha dado lo mejor de mi vida, pero he vivido pruebas muy difíciles, pero para mí no imposibles, como haber sacado a mis hijos adelante sola.
This country has given me the best parts of my life. However, I have been tested with very, very difficult tests, but nothing impossible, such as helping my children move forward in life. By myself.
He enfrentado retos que los he venido superando. Amo mucho mi comunidad, siento que soy parte de ella y por eso estoy aquí para luchar por ella, para poder vivir en un ambiente sano.
I have faced many challenges that I have been able to overcome, but I love my community. I feel like I belong here, and this is why I am here to fight for it, so that we can live in a healthy environment. Adelante.
Estamos rodeados de desierto y valles de cultivo, donde hay mucha población que sufre las inclemencias del tiempo, ya sea invierno y no se diga en verano.
We live in a community, we are surrounded by the deserts where we face a lot of challenges in the valley, such as climate and, in times such as the winter. Let's not even get into the summertime.
Para mi enfoque personal ha sido en la educación, enseñarme cómo trabajan los sistemas escolares.
As far as my personal focus, I have been focusing on the educational school system and how it works.
Para mi opinión, y sin faltarle respeto a nadie, hemos vivido durante muchos años teniendo problemas con personas que han estado al mando de la educación de nuestros hijos.
In my opinion, and without disrespecting anyone, we have lived through many years having issues with people who have been in charge of our children's education.
Que no han sabido llevar esos puestos.
Who have not known how to hold that office.
Poner más atención a nuestro distrito, y traer gente bien preparada y conozca primero nuestro mundo.
To bring more or pay more attention to our district and to bring more people who are well prepared and who know our world well.
Esperando que podamos lograr nuestras metas. Y vuelvo a recalcar que nos mantengan juntas la comisión en Coachella y Valle de Este de Coachella.
And hoping that we can then achieve our goals. And just wanted to repeat to the commission to keep together our communities of Coachella and the eastern part of Coachella.
Porque los problemas que enfrentamos son muy diferentes a otras ciudades del Valle de Coachella, por ejemplo, Palm Springs y Rancho Mirage.
Because the problems that we face are very different to the other parts of the Valley of Coachella, such as Palm Springs and Rancho Mirage.
30 seconds.
30 segundos.
Gracias. Es todo por escucharme.
Thank you. That's all. And thank you for listening to me. And this is the interpreter. Just wanted to add that one of the challenge that the caller mentioned was the bad weather in the area.
Thank you so much.
Gracias. Gracias. Just a final reminder, it is now 5 minutes of 8. The phone lines will be closing at 8 o'clock. If you have called in by 8 o'clock, we will stay to hear you. So if you do have something to share with us, I would encourage you to call in before those phone lines close at 8 p.m. Katie, back over to you.
Thank you, Chair. Right now, we will go to caller 6429, and then up next will be caller 7745. Caller 6429, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 6429, will you be needing an interpreter?
No, I don't, thank you.
Your speaker order number will be number 50. If you'll please make note of that for future reference, and if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you, and I appreciate being given the opportunity to express my comments in respects to the redistricting. I am a full-time resident in Palm Desert. It would be District 42. I am in support of our one continuous assembly district, including all the Coachella Valley, which would extend possibly to Palos Verdes Valley and then the Arizona border. We are large enough to have one assembly district, and our community is currently gerrymandered, which by law states it is illegal. Our population increases about 100K in the winter months. Although these visitors are not necessarily residents of the area, it speaks to the increase in size of our community, and that should be factored in when drawing the new lines. The Coachella Valley is unique due to the fact that it is a resort destination. Therefore, I feel it's necessary to reiterate the need for one contiguous assembly district. Sadly, when there's division and separated into legislative districts, it is difficult to get a fair representation in the state legislature, and I do not feel we are fairly represented in the state legislature at this time. It is also sad to me that after many years of fighting for disintegration, people are now advocating to segregate. If we sincerely want to stop racism, we must live and work together very peacefully. And I do believe by making this one district, we will move towards that goal. So thank you for your time, and I appreciate it. Have a nice evening.
Thank you for calling in and sharing your thoughts on this.
Right now, we will go to caller 7745, and up next will be caller 6348. Caller 7745, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Once again, caller with the last four, 7745. If you will please press *6 on your telephone keypad to unmute at this time. Caller 7745. Hello. Your speaker order number will be number 51. If you'll please make note of that for future reference, and if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
It is Palm Springs and a surrounding area, meaning Coachella Valley.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, commissioners. Thank you for all the hard work you do. I'm an immigrant from the Middle East, and I've been living in the United States of America for over 35 years. I would like to approach this topic, and I've been watching all your meetings and presentations. I just feel I'd like to bring two topics. One, I've heard a lot of some communities that they are afraid if you do the redistricting, that's going to split their community. And what I'd like to have somebody explain to them that's not going to happen because the small community really rely on the outside resources. And I'm going to give you a sample. I live in Palm Springs of California. We are facing shortage of low-income housing, medication, you name it. The crime is up. We are short on a lot of resources, and we rely on seasonal tourists or the snowbirds. If this goes away, we really are nothing. So we really rely on everybody in the Coachella Valley to strengthen our economy, our identity. And so this way we don't feel like we're isolated. So it's very important that you make your audience aware that this lining is not to split communities. It actually will strengthen their community by bringing in resources and one representation, more money for the whole area. We rely on them and they rely on us. So I really, truly encourage you to have one district for the entire Coachella Valley and explain to the smaller community that if they stay alone, it's their loss and they will not stand. I know that as an immigrant. I appreciate taking my consideration and I hope you do the right thing. Have a great evening.
Thank you so much for calling, and thank you so much for following so many of our meetings.
Right now, we will go to caller 6348, and then up next will be caller 5898. Caller 6348, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 6348, will you be needing an interpreter this evening?
No, I'm okay, thank you.
Okay. Your speaker order number will be number 52. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Commission. I want to thank you for taking my comment. My name is Carolina, and I live in the Victorville in the High Desert. I am calling because I wanted to make sure you keep our High Desert communities together in the same districts. This includes the Victor Valley, Morongo Basin, the outlying unincorporated areas like Felon, Lucerne Valley, and all the way out to Barstow and Needles. These communities all share similar concerns when it comes to public health. For example, all of the communities I listed have one water master to manage all the underground water we are relying on. Other areas like the Coachella Valley have abundant water supplies and don't share our need to conserve water whether or not we are in drought. We also belong to one air quality management district because whether you are in Morongo or the Victor Valley, we all have issues when it comes to winds kicking up dust and particulates. However, our air is generally cleaner than other areas down the hill or in Los Angeles, and our problems are much different than theirs. A lot of times, our hard desert communities get into odd districts with representatives that live hours away in LA County or elsewhere, and I believe it is really important to keep our San Bernardino County high desert communities together. Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Right now, we will go to caller 5898. Up next after that will be caller 0162. Caller 5898, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 5898, will you be needing an interpreter this evening?
No, thank you.
Your speaker order number will be number 53. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn and I live in 29 Palms. My family and many others like mine work on the Marine base just outside of our city. Our city is also home to a large number of veterans who have also served on the base. I would like the commission to keep the families like mine and others in mind when creating new districts. In fact, a number of communities in the high desert also have concerns like mine, whether it's the Marine Logistics Base in Barstow, Fort Irwin, or the Old George Air Force Base in Victorville. Our communities were built up around military bases and the civilian jobs that go along with them. And now we all have large veteran populations among our communities. We all share concerns over resources, and our local economics are built around the bases and the veteran community we serve. In fact, the high desert is home to the only veterans home in the Inland Empire, the Barstow Veterans Home. So please don't divide our communities and put us with other areas down the hill, but keep the high desert and the veteran and military populations together. Thank you.
And thank you for calling.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller 0162, and up next after that will be caller 0597. Caller 0162, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 0162, will you be needing an interpreter this evening? Caller 0162, can you hear me? Buenos noches.
Hello?
Hello, will you be needing an interpreter?
No.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Okay. Your speaker order number will be number 54. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Okay, yes. Hi. This is Pam Grogan with the Nehemiah Charitable Fund, and I'm here to represent the Black communities for the cities of San Bernardino, Rialto, and Fontana, which are geographically defined by the 210 freeway from the north and the eastern border of the 215 freeway. Currently, these cities represent a strong voting bloc for the Black community, and I strongly recommend that they remain within the current districts to preserve and protect the Black vote. In years past, we have come together as a community to successfully elect African Americans to various political offices from within these districts, and this success would be in jeopardy if the cities of San Bernardino, Rialto, and Fontana do not remain together. These communities are connected by the same culture, history, schools, church associations, and business affiliations, including the Black Chamber of Commerce. Shared interests include affordable housing and health care, better paying jobs, K-12 schools, and crime prevention. To break up this geographic area would be viewed by many local leaders as an attempt to weaken the minority voters' efforts to elect their own representatives, and therefore would be in violation of the Voting Rights Act. Once again, we ask that the Commission keep our communities together. Thank you for your time and the opportunity to provide public comment.
Thank you for taking time to provide your comment.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will caller 0597. And then up next after that will be caller 4233. Caller 0597, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 0597, will you be needing an interpreter this evening?
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Your speaker order number will be number 55. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss this evening, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. I am calling from the Coachella Valley, the eastern Coachella Valley, to be specific. This is an amazing, humble community populated mainly by Latinos. And I just wanted to point out the issue that the community in the city of Mecca and, of course, other cities in the eastern Coachella Valley do not have access to certain cleaning maintenance services, such as sweeping the streets. And if the own people do not take the time and action to clean the streets, you start seeing puddles of water. And at times a funky smell starts coming out. Also, these puddles attract mosquitoes, and then it is an issue because then the community members can be outside and enjoy the outside weather. So I just wanted to point that out. and we could see also some of these cleaning services that we see in other cities in the Coachella Valley. Thank you for the time.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you so much. Right now will be caller 4233. Oh, right now will be caller 5584. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 5584, will you be needing an interpreter this evening?
Please. Yes, please.
Un momento, por favor.
Gracias.
May I have an interpreter, please? Thank you. Your speaker order number this evening will be 56. If you will please make note of that for future reference, and if you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the interpreter is here.
Su número de orador va a ser el 56. Sí, por favor, puede anotar esto para poder consultarlo en el futuro. Y también si le puede informar al cartógrafo de cuál área gusta hablar, aquí está la intérprete. Y la intérprete le gusta dar algunas indicaciones instrucciones acerca del comentario público. Si por favor puede hablar de 2 a 3 frases a la vez y luego la intérprete va a interpretar de manera consecutiva. Una vez que termine de interpretar, puede seguir con sus comentarios. De vez en cuando la intérprete puede que le pida que tome pausa para poder interpretar de manera adecuada. Y si gusta empezar, va a tener 6 minutos. Adelante.
Sí, buenas noches. Muchas gracias por permitirme dar mi opinión. Mi nombre es Daniela de la Garza. Yo vivo en Riverside y quiero comentar mis zonas de interés, que las cuales son Riverside, Terrace y Moreno Valley.
Un momento, por favor. Un momento, por favor. Okay. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to give my input. My name is Daniela de la Garza, and I would like to, I live in the city or in the area of Riverside, and I would like to give my feedback regarding Riverside, Terrace, and Moreno Valley. Adelante.
Sí, yo estoy llamando agradeciendo que me den la oportunidad de dar mi punto, porque estoy muy contenta con los progresos que hemos tenido en la comunidad y espero que por favor nos permitan seguir como estamos, porque como hemos estado unidos, hemos visto grandes logros.
I am calling and I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to be able to share my point. I want to share that I am happy that how we are currently together because this has allowed my community to be able to progress. Adelante.
Sí, nosotros en los grupos que nos desarrollamos en la iglesia, yo estoy en la Universidad de Riverside en UCR y en todas las cosas que hacemos juntos en la comunidad, siento que estamos muy bien como estamos y por eso estoy llamando ahora para dar mi opinión. Muchas gracias, buenas noches.
Yes, and so with the church groups that I belong to and the college that I attend in Riverside, which is UCR, I feel that things are going well with the community being together and that we're united, and I would like for that to continue. And thank you. Those are my comments. I appreciate the time.
Gracias.
Thank you so much. Right now we will be going to caller 4233, and then up next after that will be caller 6433, unique ID 042. Caller 4233, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. Caller 4233, will you be needing an interpreter this evening?
No, thank you very much for offering.
You are welcome. Your speaker order number will be number 57. If you'll please make note of that for future reference, and if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Yes, my name is Ellen, and I've lived in the Coachella Valley for 30 years. The part of the map that I'm looking at would be from Palm Springs all the way through the town of Blythe to the Salton Sea, which I call, the greater Coachella Valley. So I've waited to the end this evening. I have been on the phone since 4 o'clock, and this is a really important issue to me and my community. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of people don't know about this process. But prior to this bill passing, we were one contiguous district out here. And to my surprise, after the bill passed, and I thought there would be no gerrymandering, in 2010, they gave us 2 assembly districts. And unfortunately, one of those assembly districts handpicked several cities that were predominantly Hispanic. And I'm speaking today because I truly believe that for our community to be properly represented, we must work together. And it's so troubling. I have listened to all 3 of the Zone I sessions. And it's so troubling when I hear people read from the same script and staff for districts made up of just people like them, people of their same, I'm assuming, skin color or interest. And I don't think that's what this process is about. This process is about unifying Californians so that we can make our state better and solve problems together. And the Coachella Valley is unique and very much alike, all the way from Palm Springs to the Salt. Who are speaking about those eastern towns being different, I do not agree with them. And I've lived here for 31 years. When you leave my house and cross the street, that is a different assembly district. And it is very hard to represent a district that is like that. It is also troubling to me that on Sunday in our local paper, the current assemblyman of that district quoted, we follow the process of redistricting, but it isn't something that we're losing sleep over when it comes to what decision we're going to make. So that makes me worry about that. Maybe he knows something we don't, because I've been sitting here for hours through all of these sessions, listening to people asking for our district to stay together until tonight, when there's a few people who wanted to keep the Eastern Coachella Valley separate. And I just plead with you to please listen, to please follow the law and to not let this happen again, because it has made it very difficult to be represented here in the Coachella Valley. I care about everyone in this community. I've lived here a very long time. I spend a lot of my time in the Eastern Coachella Valley, and I think we are much better served if we are a district. Thank you very much for your service and all the time that all of you have put into this very important effort. Thank you.
And thank you for patiently staying with us all afternoon and listening to so many of our meetings, and for taking the time to express your concerns and your care for the community by calling in today.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have caller 6433. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6. You are our last fabulous caller this evening. Oh, they didn't want to talk to me. That was all of our callers this evening.
Very good. Thank you so much, Katie, for another fantastic job. I want to take the opportunity to remind folks they are more than welcome to visit our website, wedrawthelinesca.org. Folks can also sign up for our emails to learn more about our meetings, updates, and announcements. Folks can connect with us on social media. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube at WeDrawTheLinesCA. There are any number of ways to provide public input to the commission. These meetings are one of those ways. Information on these meetings is available on the meetings tab of our website. We also have our online communities of interest mapping tool at drawmycacommunity.org. That is available along with tutorials in more than a dozen languages. Folks can email us at votersfirstact@crc.ca.gov or write us at California Citizens Redistricting Commission, 721 Capitol Mall, Suite 260, Sacramento, California, 95814. A reminder for our upcoming meetings: if you need an interpreter to provide input on a day where there is no language line or there is no language line for the language in which you want to provide input, please submit your request at least 5 business days prior to that meeting. You can do that also through interpreter.request@crc.ca.gov. You can make the request on your meeting appointment form, or you can call our office at 916-323-0323. We have 2 more communities of interest input meetings this week. The first one is on Wednesday, September 1st, 4 p.m., focusing on Orange County and surrounding areas. We will have Spanish, Korean, and Vietnamese listening lines and interpreters available for that meeting focusing on Orange County on Wednesday. The second meeting is on Thursday, September 2nd at 3 p.m., focusing on San Diego and Imperial counties and surrounding areas. We will have Spanish listening line and Spanish interpreters available for that. I also want to call folks' attention to 2 statewide meetings coming up on Thursday and Friday, September 9th and 10th. Both of those are at 3 p.m. I would also highlight the meeting coming up on September 8th, Wednesday, September 8th, for the 4 Southern California zones, Los Angeles, the Inland Empire, Orange County, San Diego, and Imperial. In case you missed an opportunity to provide your input today, that meeting again, Wednesday, September 8th, from 3 to 7 p.m. You are not required to make an appointment to provide input at these communities of interest input meetings, but we do recommend it. You can also call in the day of the meeting. We are holding these meetings virtually. Anyone in California can provide input. Registration, if you do want to sign up for a speaking block, registration for these meetings closes 2 calendar days before the meeting at 5 p.m. Also want to highlight that we have a business meeting coming up tomorrow, beginning at 9:30 a.m. There is another business meeting coming up on Tuesday, September 7th, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. I believe those are all the announcements. I want to thank my colleagues. I want to thank Katie. I want to thank the staff who worked so hard behind the scenes to put this all together. I'd like to thank my co-chair for the evening, Commissioner Vasquez, for stepping in and handling the second session so ably today. It's been great. Zone I did another fantastic job providing input this evening, and we look forward to further public input in the days and weeks ahead. So thank you all very much. Meeting is adjourned, 8:22 p.m.